Hollywood, starting from animation. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 176, Actor and Destruction of the Empire. This welcome reception was proposed by Jill Jacobs, chairman of the Cannes Film Festival, hosted by Martin Scorsese, chairman of the current judging committee, and co-organized by the local government of Cannes. 9 members of the jury of this year's film festival, including Alan Kono, Chiara Mastroianni, and Chen Cage, also appeared in attendance. Of course, directors, producers, filmmakers and stars from all over the world are also indispensable. They are the most attractive group and the foundation of the Cannes Film Festival, especially film dealers from countries and regions around the world are even more enthusiastic. The Cannes Film Festival is still a commercial group after all. Every year during the film festival, the transaction volume of film copyright sales is as high as more than $200 million. Interest is the driving force that drives social development. Hi, Zhu, it's really you. Just as Zhu Ke entered the reception to watch, he heard someone call his name. Zhu looked back and immediately became happy. Hey, Jordan. Old man, I didn't expect your dignified Paramount Director of Overseas Distribution to appear in person at this Cannes Film Festival. Meeting old acquaintance Jordan was something Zhu Ke hadn't thought of before. Every year, during the Cannes Film Festival, it is possible to attract representatives of film companies and producers from all over the world, but Jordan is different. He is now one of the top 6 in Hollywood and the head of Paramount's Overseas Distribution Department, the kind of big man with high authority. It stands to reason that the representative attending the film festival should not be him, at most his deputy. Haha. Jordan held a glass of red wine and smiled at Zhu Ke. You are a well-known American rich man who can condescend to come to Cannes. Why can't someone like me show up to attend? Hey, it's not the same. I'm here to participate, Zhu Ke said solemnly. Suddenly, Jordan was dumb after Zhu's explanation. He suddenly realized, sorry buddy, I have been traveling in France, Italy, Germany and other countries recently. I haven't returned to the United States. I wonder if you picked up the guide tube again. After a pause, he said, oh, that's right. Speaking of movies, your company's recent overseas release of Fatal Corner 2 has won a good box office. My God. A full $67 million in overseas box office. The results are dozens of times the cost. Hearing that, Zhu Ke looked at Jordan teasingly. On the spot you say a ghost. My family's movies are released overseas. Aren't you Paramount's responsibility for the distribution now? And you are in charge, of course. Everyone is a scene person. There is no need to expose it. What can Zhu do? Of course it's business bluffs. Old man, wait a minute, I'll introduce some friends to you. Jordan is a man of violent personality, and Zhu has not allowed Zhu to refute at the moment, so he rushes directly to the lively crowd. Not long after, Jordan led 2 young men to Zhu. Men, this is the famous Mr. Theo Angelopoulos, Jordan introduced loudly. Zhu Ke was shocked immediately and immediately saluted the visitors. It's nice to meet you. I'm Zhu Ke Wald, a new director. No way. Although Zhu is very rich and has a very high social status in the United States, the person here is Theo Angelopoulos. Ordinary movie audiences may be relatively unfamiliar with him. But people who have devoted themselves to the film industry and people who eat in this industry, you may not have heard of this name. Born in 1935, he is known as the first person in Greek movies. In his decades-long directorial career, he has created more than 20 films and won multiple awards at the 3 major film festivals in Berlin, Cannes and Venice. He is a senior director full of honors. Man, you are too humble. Where are you, the new director? Jordan on the side laughed and said, Mr. Angelopoulos, Mr. Zhu Ke Wald in front of you, but a talented Hollywood director, whose first personal film Lola Run, won 1,400 the North American box office of more than $10,000, the global box office of $130 million. Hearing that, Rao is hailed as the first person in Greek film Theo Angelopoulos, and he is also very shocked at the moment. Unbelievable, unbelievable, Mr. Wald, you are a genius, Angelopoulos praised. Where? I still need to keep working hard. At this moment, Zhu Ke, who has always had a face like a city wall, is extremely humble. Jordan on the side once again acted as Zhu Chu, saying, not only that, Mr. Wald is also a screenwriter, producer, and owner of a film company. He wrote the movies Junia and The Sixth Sense of Supernatural. The film has achieved very good box office results. Is it? Theo Angelopoulos was a bit exaggerated compared with the director's identity. The identity of the film company owner shocked him even more. At the same time, the old man who came with Theo Angelopoulos also looked at Zhuke with praise. "Zhuke, this is Switzerland's national treasure actor Bruno Ganz." Jordan introduced the two, shook hands and praised each other. "It's nice to meet you, Mr. Ganz. I am also very happy to meet you, excellent young man." Zhuke is very familiar with the name Bruno Ganz, and his starring Under the Sphere of Berlin is hailed as one of the 100 best films in Europe. Well, he is not young anymore. He is 57 years old this year. The movie audiences and netizens of Yon Dynasty may not have heard of this name, but the mention of another movie starring him, www.wooksiaspit.com, is almost a household name and is well known all over the world. Destruction of the Empire. That's right, Bruno Ganz is the actor of Hitler, the head of state, in the Destruction of the Empire that is often spoofed, dubbed and played badly by netizens. At the time when the German Empire was about to fail, Hitler yelled at his incompetent subordinates in the air raid shelter, as well as blaming and ranting fragments. The scenes of several female waiters crying were regarded as classic shots by many netizens. What? At this moment, Zhu Ke couldn't help thinking, I can still make Destruction of the Empire. This movie, I remember, in 2004, the announced shooting cost was only more than 13 million euros, less than 20 million US dollars. Price code, it can be filmed. Well, I just don't know if there are any problems with this script and copyright. In the next time, Zhuke, Jordan, and the two old people started talking in a very harmonious way from the dialogue. Zhu Ke also analyzed the reasons why Jordan personally appeared at this Cannes Film Festival. The film Eternity in a Day, directed by Theo Angelopoulos and starring Bruno Ganz, has entered the main competition unit of this year's Cannes Film Festival and will compete for the Palme d'Or with a group of outstanding films. The copyright and global distribution rights of the film have already been acquired by Paramount. You said, as the head of Paramount's overseas distribution department, can Jordan not show up at this festival? Once Eternity in a Day wins the final Palme d'Or, Paramount will make more money. Humph. At this moment, a cold snort came in Zhuke's ear. The second update was sent. Today, several book friends gave a reward, and the minister decided to open the third update. Chapter 177, Sad Enemy. The sudden cold snort interrupted the chat between Zhu Ke and Jordan. Follow the prestige. Hi, Mr. Bill Micknick, it's been a long time. How are you doing recently? Zhuke found out that the person was an old acquaintance, so he naturally greeted him warmly. Zhuke is the boss of Wald Pictures. He is the CEO of 20th Century Fox. To be precise, he is the former CEO. Everyone ate in Hollywood. Before, he had a lot of cooperation on the Titanic project. However, Zhuke is enthusiastic, not necessarily that Bill Micknick will give Zhuke a good face. Mr. Zhu Ke Wald. For your blessing, I'm the most recent. Good, terrific. Bill Micknick said that his speech was a little bad, and he gritted his teeth every word how to describe it. Yin and yang weird. Although Zhu Ke is not very old, he is also an old world and an old fox. Where can't he tell the difference between good and evil? Of course, Zhuke didn't mind right now. I heard that you became a director, and you also made short films to participate in this short film competition unit. Tisk tisk tisk, young man, it's not me who said you have no talent for directing, so you should be your super rich boss. Haha, Bill Micknick is still weird. He hates Zhuke. 2 months ago, the 20th Century Fox lost a large amount of profits due to the issue of the investment share of the Titanic and was swept out at that time. He vowed that he would retaliate severely when he found opportunities in the future. Although 2 months have passed, he hasn't thought of a good way, but now that he has run into him, he has been irritated for a long time. Of course, he must sharp Zhuke a few words and teach him how to be a man. What you said is, thank you for your good words. Zhu Ke responded with great generosity. At this moment, Theo Angelopoulos and Bruno Ganz couldn't help but nod their heads and praised Zucker's demeanor. Jordan, others don't know Zhu Ke, but as a long-term partner of Wald Pictures, he knows Zhu Ke too much. How to say, the Zhu Ke in his mind is a young man who seems mature but can't suffer any loss. I do not mind. Zhuke smiled at Jordan. Once people get older, it is inevitable that they sometimes play tempers like children, especially old men. It is completely understandable that there will be a few days when something goes wrong and loses their temper. Well, our classmate Zhu Ke, who is a generous person, would mind. Of course it's the choice. Suck him, damn you. It's really good to be bullied. You are upset. What do you want to do with me, Mr. Micknick? It is a pleasure to see you in Cannes. Wow. This film festival seems to be really good. Even you, one of the 6 Hollywood CEOs, will participate in person. I believe the organizing committee will be very welcome. Mr. Murdoch, I will definitely be proud of having a subordinate like you. You know, Fox Pictures parent company News Corporation and I are both the major shareholders of ICQ. Next time I see Mr. Murdoch, I will definitely praise you and praise your virtues with him. Huh? Mr. Mitnick, how can your face be so ugly? Is it because of your body's discomfort? Would you like me to take you to sit on the side? Zhuke spoke passionately and caringly, while holding him vigorously, pulling him aside vigorously. Well, it doesn't matter if he likes it or not. Hey, Jordan. Why are you pulling me? Did you feel uncomfortable not seeing Mr. Mitnick? Man, I said you should let go. Mr. Mitnick is my most respected filmmaker and a senior to the Hollywood workers. If he died here, would you have a good conscience? Zhuke shook off Jordan angrily, and once again pulled the very young Bill Mitnick. Nima, I'll just talk about it. Are you ready to get started? Oh, my old arms and legs. The picture is extremely warm and harmonious. In addition, Zhuke's movements and voice were louder, and it immediately attracted the attention of many people present. An old man's complexion was extremely blue and ugly, an extremely caring and supporting act. The scene at this moment is obviously very clear. Anyone with open eyes knows that Zhu Ke sees the old man being unwell, so he takes him aside to rest. Amazing young man. The person who said this compliment is indeed Jill Jacobs, the chairman of the Cannes Film Festival. Yes, such an enthusiastic young man is rare now. Martin Scorsese, chairman of the jury of this year's film festival, said, Zhu Ke Wald deserves his title as a talented Hollywood director. Just ask an enthusiastic young man, who succeeds if he fails. Jill Jacob nodded in admiration. Several other panel members of the jury on the side also echoed one after another. All of a sudden, the hundreds of film workers present at the scene all gave thumbs up to Zhu Ke's enthusiastic actions, and even more directly applauded and praised him. Bill Mitnick, Jordan. At the same time, Theo Angelopoulos and Bruno Ganz, who were insiders, showed weird faces. The old guy Bill Mitnick actually wanted to scold Zhuke shamelessly, but now so many people applaud and praise him, what else can he do? Is it possible to tell the cause and effect? Saying that you first mock Zhu Ke, then he Mitnick is shameless. I can only choose to smash my teeth and swallow in my stomach this loss. He is determined. Hiss. Bill Mitnick looked terribly ugly, and gritted his teeth and whispered, Zhuke, you bastard, it hurts so much that you pinched me. It's a lot of green. Hey, I'm making your memory long. You said you were swept out by 20th Century Fox. Why did you lose your temper at me? Is it really because of the issue of selling investment shares in Titanic? Fox CEO Tom Rothman, guys, didn't they keep holding back and ousting you? They are so good. And the 2 sons of the Murdoch family, they seem to be unhappy about you as CEO. So, I have a scent relationship. Zhuke mocked. In the original Time and Space, Bill Mitnick was also swept out by Murdoch. www.wooksiaspit.com. The appearance of Zhuke only accelerated this process, and it was 2 months ahead of schedule he was kicked out of Fox, and he really didn't have much to do with Zhuke. He actually had a foreboding about Bill Mitnick, but he was immersed in fantasy and dare not admit it for a while. Bill Mitnick was silent. He is a wise man. The reason he hated Zhuke before was just that he was dazzled by the hatred. Now that he calms down, he can naturally sort out the cause and effect. Without the ability and intelligence, it is impossible for him to hold the position of Fox CEO for as long as 6 years. This, being reminded and taught by a young man, Bill Mitnick was grateful and a little embarrassed. The two did not speak, and the atmosphere seemed strange in the end. Zhuke, as a young man, broke the silence. Old guy, do you want to come to Wald Pictures? Zhuke raised the corner of his mouth. Don't be kidding me, I'm bothered now, Bill Mitnick said angrily. Zhu Ke sternly said, I'm not kidding, Zhu Ke Wald, as the chairman of the Golden Dawn Entertainment Group, formally invite you to serve as the president of Wald Pictures. At this moment, Bill Mitnick looked at Zhu Ke very solemnly. I need time to consider. Hearing this, Zhu Ke nodded and expressed on the spot that he was willing to give him time to consider. The third update is sent. Thank you for the horn of the novel for rewarding 600, thanking me for being a strange product, and for rewarding 200 for the best, and thanking the for rewarding for 100. Chapter 178, Tuner Screening. It was not because of Zhu that Zhuke invited Bill Mitnick, an old guy, to take the post of president of Wald Pictures. But as early as a few days ago, Zhu Ke made up his mind to find a qualified and outstanding president for Wald Pictures, and get an overview of the overall situation of Wald Pictures. Victor is now the CEO of the parent company Jinshuguang Entertainment Group. He is very busy at work. He has to take the overall situation into consideration and is lacking in skills as an important subsidiary of Wald Pictures. Today's Vice President Kevin Feige is still too young. At only 26 years old, he is not the powerful figure who will create the Marvel superhero universe in the future. The current Kevin Feige is too immature. He still needs time to grow. Otherwise, it would not happen that in the first half of 1998, Wald Pictures removed its own films and only released 2 foreign films, which was a lot lower than last year. Bill Mitnick. It's different. Although he was dismissed by Fox in the 20th century, this does not mean that he was inadequate. It was the result of Fox's internal struggle and indulgence. Otherwise, he would not try to stand against the crowd and unearth a world-renowned work such as Titanic. The most important thing is that Bill Mitnick, an old guy with rich experience and extremely deep connections in Hollywood, can make up for many of the shortcomings of Wald Pictures. At the same time, he is not young anymore. After a few years of work and retirement, Kevin Feige has also grown up, just to be able to seamlessly connect. I'm such a genius. Zhu was extremely impressed by his decision after dealing with a contradiction with Bill Mitnick. Zhu, who was next at the reception, could be described as the most popular social flower. Everywhere he went, he was warmly welcomed by everyone. A few hours later, Zhu and Alexander and his party returned to the hotel. Hey, Mr. Wald, how come you came back so early? This is not your usual style. There are many beautiful celebrities at the reception. Christopher Nolan joked this means that the two are now familiar with each other, otherwise he would not dare to tease Zhu if he changed from a year ago. The title of Hollywood studio owner and super rich is still very bluff. Man, I'm a gentleman, a model of morality that everyone praises. I will never do anything against my heart. Zhu Ke made a righteous expression, but he was also quite depressed. In today's series of performances at the cocktail party, Zhu Ke can be said to have made the most of the limelight and set up a personality. It is a moral model praised by everyone. You can't break the personality at once. Well, even if Zhu is always shameless. Okay buddy, it's not too early, let's rest early, Zhu Ke said. Christopher Nolan nodded, expressing his understanding. Others don't know Zhu Ke's thoughts, but he knows. After all, Zhu Ke has communicated with him before. Is Zhu Ke really coming for the short film competition unit? Do not, of course not to mention the title of the top name of a short film competition unit, that is, winning the Oscar and Cannes Best Director Award and the Palme d'Or. For the current Zhu Ke, it can only play a role in icing on the cake. Get it? Very good. It doesn't matter if you can't get it. Zhu Ke came to the Cannes Film Festival, this time mainly to gain a reputation and lay a good foundation for the establishment of Wald Pictures' global distribution channels. Even if this effect is minimal, Zhu Ke does not want to let it go. May 13th, the 51st Cannes Film Festival officially kicked off. In order to host this film festival, the organizing committee and the Cannes local government happily spent 15 million euros. Of course, no one will do a loss-making business. The investment of 15 million euros is not just to organize a party for these film artists. The local government and private enterprises in Cannes, France, as investors, are looking for the world influence and economic benefits brought by the film festival. In this short period of 12 days, the film festival was able to attract countless film professionals and tourists from all over the world. The number of people involved in movies alone is at least 15,000, and the number of tourists is even higher. The direct economic income brought is considerable. As of the late 1990s, 2,000 exhibitors and 700 screenings were held every day during the film festival. This number will reach a new high in 2020. As many as 16,900 filmmakers from 118 countries will participate here, and a total of 1,426 film festivals have been organized for 985 films. Participation is not free, men, you have to pay. Therefore, during the film festival, the registration fee alone can bring in income of 3.8 to 5 million euros, not to mention the income of the theaters. At the same time, there are more than 4,000 films traded in the film market, and annual sales $1 to $1.5 billion. The huge benefits have attracted all filmmakers and filmmakers. More importantly, these sources of income can radiate to various fields. The most notable of these is the local hotel restaurants. Not only has the number of receptions increased exponentially, the expenses have also increased by at least 30% than usual, and the proportion of such a large increase is still increasing year by year. At the 55th Cannes Film Festival in 2002, the direct income of its surrounding industries was 130 million euros. 1 year later, At the 56th Cannes International Film Festival, the direct income of its surrounding industry soared to €900 million. Since the Cannes Film Festival in 2005, hotels in Cannes have received an average of 85,000 tourists each year. The local Carlton hotel-level presidential suite costs €48,000 per night. If you want to rent a luxury villa near the seaside for a week, you must be prepared to pay €90,000. At the same time, with the increase in demand www.wooxiaspit.com, it is logical to increase the price. Even the private homes of private homeowners are usually several to 10 times higher than in the off-season. There is no doubt that the Cannes Film Festival is a commercial event under the name of Cinema Art Exchange. As one of the 16 works selected for the short film competition, Tuner is scheduled to be shown on the second day of the festival, which is May 14th. No one pays attention to the protagonist of the novel, but slaps his face. What a joke. As a well-known person and super rich directed Tuner, of course, it has attracted the attention of countless media reporters, filmmakers and movie audiences on this day. The exhibition hall was full of pits and people. The media reporters from all over the world are even more eloquent and ready to go. Jill Jacobs, chairman of the Cannes Film Festival, Martin Scorsese, chairman of the jury of this year's film festival, and many members of the jury team, all came to the scene in person to support. "Oh my God," a media reporter exclaimed. "Even the films shortlisted in the main competition unit do not have such a high degree of attention." Moreover, many members of the jury will not be allowed to appear in a certain film at the same time. The most important thing is, it's just a short film. When the voice fell, many media colleagues around me couldn't help laughing. "Men, why did you come?" a colleague sneered. "In this world, money is omnipotent. If you have money, you can do whatever you want, otherwise why did you come?" Ever since, the reporter was always embarrassed after a welcome. Zhu Ke announced that Tuner was officially started. "The first update is sent. Sorry for being late. I hope you will understand. Thank you." Chapter 179, Enjoy the Privacy of Prying Eyes. The screen lights up. The whole screening scene fell silent in an instant. Even the media reporters watched the screen attentively. They are here for interviews, but if they don't even understand what the movie is about, how can they interview after the screening? The media reporters at the scene, no ethics, but their professionalism is still quite strong. The movie screen appeared. The first to appear is the actor, Adrian, played by the young actor Paul Walker. Along with Adrian's memories, the voiceover of the movie comes from the protagonist. "Just last year, I was regarded as a genius, and I am convinced that I will have a bright future. All my hard work for 15 years is for this moment." Bernstein piano competition. "However, I failed. On that day, it was a complete failure. I became withdrawn, did not communicate with others, and endured the torture of failure alone, as if falling into an abyss. However, I survived and became a piano tuner." At the end of the memory of the actor, Adrian, the audience also had a simple understanding of him. The beginning is good. The short film should be so straightforward, straight to the point. Director Victor nodded hearing this. The two actors of the great Heavenly Dynasty, a man and a woman beside him, nodded in agreement. The two actors, male and female, are indeed Liang Chaowei and Liu Jialing. Personal names are homophonic. They came to the Cannes Film Festival this time because the film Flowers on the Sea starring them has been shortlisted for the main competition unit of this film festival. As the male and female protagonists, of course they appeared in Cannes. As for their participation in the Tuner screening, it was because Zhu Ke extended an invitation to them. The movie Tuner officially entered the main storyline restaurant. The leading actor, Adrian, dressed in a black suit and black sunglasses, was dining in a restaurant, and at this time, the second character of the film appeared, a fat middle-aged man, Simon, who is an intermediary and an agent, usually introduces Adrian clients who need piano performance and tuning to earn money. "Men, I'm not here to watch you eat disgustingly. I want to know, how did you double the number of jobs you took in a month?" Simon, the agent at this moment, was a little angry, but also with a lot of doubts. "Your client appreciates my work. What's so shocking about this?" the actor said casually. "Nonsense." The agent suppressed his anger and said, "I received a call today, asking for my blind tuner." "Asshole, don't you want to explain?" "Blind tuner," Adrian smiled and slowly said, "in the Mughal Empire, after the death of the wife of Emperor Shah Jahan." Stop it, I don't have time to listen to your nonsense here," the agent interrupted Adrian angrily. Adrian was not annoyed, let alone anxious. In the Mughal Empire, after the death of the wife of Emperor Shah Jahan, he was immersed in infinite grief and could not extricate himself. One day, He summoned the best architect of the time. When the architect came to the emperor asked him, "Are you married?" The architect replied, "I am married, my lord." The emperor asked again, "Do you love your wife?" The architect replied, "Yes, your majesty, she is like my life, I love her more than anything else." When the words fell, the emperor's face suddenly showed a surprised expression. "Very good, then I will put her to death, so that you can feel my pain and build a world for my wife, the best mausoleum in the world." So the emperor executed the architect's wife, and the architect built the Taj Mahal. Agent Simon. After the protagonist Adrian finished telling the story, the agent Simon was still confused. People tend to feel that after losing something, they become more sensitive. Similarly, they feel that I am blind, other senses will be sharper, and my hearing is almost perfect. Adrian was full of playfulness. He continued, "I'm a blind tuner. They will definitely talk to their friends around. There are many benefits, do you know? There will be no less tips, and people will treat you more friendly. At the same time, they will be less guarded, and they will be more relaxed and happy. I also know a lot of secrets about them. To put it bluntly, it is to spy on their privacy." Following the actor's explanation, the images on the movie screen continue to flow. The scenes are all scenes of him playing the piano and tuning in the client's home. Male customers take off their trousers in the living room. A young and beautiful woman, in front of him is a blind. She took off her clothes without any precaution, and danced with the sound of the piano. There are many, many things like this because he is blind. Everyone will accommodate him and sympathize with him, but will not be wary of him. This makes him enjoy this kind of teasing others, but others do not know it. He unscrupulously peeped into the privacy of others, once made him feel that he is God. Movie scene. The movie has progressed to this point, and many audiences and filmmakers now understand the meaning of the so-called tuner in the film Tuner. A blind tuner who has disguised after a failure in life, loves to pry into the privacy of others, and enjoys the process of teasing others without knowing them. Yes, he is one by one, scum. A female audience cursed in a low voice, "Talent." This was the words of a male audience, similarly, as the character in the movie Tuner, Agent Simon. When he listened to Adrian's explanation, he couldn't help but blurt out, "You are so talented, bastard." So I became blind. Adrian pulled down his sunglasses. "What is this? Contact lenses? You don't think I'm really blind, do you?" Adrian smiled again. "Being blind has a lot of benefits." "Well, I'll show it to you." After speaking, he called a restaurant waiter. In the state of the agent's dumbfounded expression, "Waiter, I'm looking for a missing piece of money." "No, it's not this one. The two face values are different. Because I'm blind, I can't see it, so I'm bullying, right? Well, in this case, I'm going to file a complaint. HMPH, you're discriminating against a blind. I want to talk to your manager." "Are you a manager?" No, I'll pay. If you insist, then okay. Thank you for your generosity, scum." Taking advantage of his advantage as a blind person and the sympathy of the restaurant manager, Adrian shamelessly ate a free lunch. The screen turns. Adrian is on the street, waiting for the traffic light. At the same time, there was an old woman beside him who was also waiting for the traffic light. For a while, he became very playful. "Madam, do you need me to help you cross the road?" Adrian asked. The old woman was trapped. www.wooksyaspit.com. He looked at the traffic lights, and then at the guide stick in Adrian's hand, and immediately became even more confused. Who changed? At this moment is also mostly stunned. If a blind person takes the initiative to help you and a normal person to cross the road, everyone will feel that the world is slippery. That's right. Adrian really enjoys the feeling of teasing others and being above himself. The movie is halfway through. At this moment, whether it is the movie audience, the media reporters, or the invited film people, they are looking forward to the next plot of the movie. In this way, under the expectation of the audience, the protagonist Adrian received a job once again. He came to the door of a client's house and took out the small book in his pocket to look at it, closed it, and guessed it. In the pocket, but then ring the doorbell. Everything is so smooth. The second update of was sent, and the author continued to open the code. Chapter 180, fully reproduced. However, this time when the protagonist Adrian rang the doorbell, the door did not open immediately and there was no sound ever since. He rang the doorbell several times. A long time. "Who are you?" Inside the room with the door closed, a woman's voice came. "Madam, I am a tuner, a piano tuner. My husband is not at home. You can come another day." "Madam, I don't need your husband to be at home for my tuning. It's okay, you go. We will pay for your visit as usual. Money is not a big problem. I am a blind person." I need a lot of effort to get to your house. Neither you nor your husband canceled the appointment with me. I think you didn't even open the door or explain. Very disrespectful to me. Do you discriminate against the blind? Adrian said angrily, but rang the doorbell again. Finally, the closed door opened. The one who opened the door was a middle-aged woman, aged 40 to 50. Of course, Adrian is now blind and he pretends to be invisible. At the same time, I can't help but feel a little proud. It seems to be saying, look, I just have to say that you discriminate against the blind, and you must compromise, whether it is true or false. But what happened next? Adrian regretted, and deeply regretted. As soon as he entered the client's house, he fell down severely without taking a few steps. Is the ground slippery? Yes, because the ground is full of blood, bright red blood. An old male corpse was lying straight on the sofa, his mouth slightly opened and his eyes rounded. Adrian was terrified, but he dared not speak out, only when he hadn't seen everything. Because he is blind now, he repeatedly comforts himself, just as if he doesn't know anything. Sorry, our house is being renovated. I just accidentally knocked over a little paint. Well, yes, paint. You understand why I didn't want to invite you in. Come on, please sit down, the middle-aged woman said with a smile. You can change your clothes. I'll put them in the washing machine for you. You'll just change into my husband's clothes later. While she was talking, she asked Adrian to change his clothes, because his clothes were stained with blood from the corpse of an old man. Adrian was panicked. Killed? Where did this Nima come to tune? This is simply the first scene of the murder, and it is clear that the murderer is the middle-aged woman in front of you. As for whether she is the hostess of this house, who knows? Movie screening scene. At this moment, it can be said that a single stone stirred up 1,000 waves, and the audience was in an uproar. Boss Alexander couldn't help but call Zhu Ke is clear, be safe and not restless. Not far away, a 20-year-old male movie viewer couldn't help cursing in a low voice. Killing? Why is this stupid protagonist still not running, waiting to be killed? Hearing that, a girl around him retorted, why run? The male protagonist is a strong man in his 20s. Could he be able to subdue an elderly middle-aged woman? Yes, dang. Even a black guy smiled and said, it turns out the Tuner is a crime-themed action movie. The next step must be to fight, kill, and then the protagonist shows off his power and subdues the killing in one fell swoop. The murderer, and was praised by the police and the society, and reached the pinnacle of life in one fell swoop. I have to say that this remark of the black guy has been supported by many viewers, but the next development of the plot made the audience stunned. The leading actor, Adrian, didn't even run away. He didn't even choose to fight with middle-aged women. He chose to ignore it, which was undoubtedly the most stupid choice. He was naked, sitting in front of a piano composedly, and constantly persuading himself inwardly, calm down, don't panic, man, you are now a blind person who doesn't see anything. She has no doubts at all, your performance is very natural, you can win Oscars and Palme d'Or. Who is the man who died on the sofa? Her husband? Did she say to get me his husband's clothes? Why is it so long? Well, maybe she needs to pick one. Isn't that great, man? You get dressed, tune this broken piano, and leave here after you let it go. Adrian persuaded himself in a short period of time. Hello, wait a minute, damn it. My notepad is in the pocket of my jacket. What does a blind man want a notepad for? Damn, there is no doubt that Adrian is panicking at the moment. However, at this moment, the middle-aged woman came quietly. She walked behind Adrian and stood still, holding a pushpin gun for decoration in her hand, which was less than 20 centimeters away from the back of Adrian's head. Don't look back, you are blind. You can't look back because you can't see. In the end, Adrian did not pluck up the courage to stand up. He chose to be silent, and then played the piano with his blood-stained hands. One is playing the piano, and the other is holding a pin gun. The picture is very weird, and, suddenly, the film tuner is over. That's right, that's it. The film uses an open ending, and does not explain whether the final actor Adrian is dead. Wow, suddenly, many people in the audience were in an uproar. Guys, that's why. Did the actor die in the end? A movie audience was surprised. There is no doubt that at this moment, whether the protagonist Adrian in the tuner is dead or not has become a topic of concern to many people on the scene. After all, in the film, when Adrian walks into the middle-aged woman's house, a scene is left behind. That was the door of the opposite house, also opened, and another middle-aged woman came out. She also glanced at him with a look that she didn't know whether it was a scrutiny or a reminder. This adds another suspense to the final life and death of the protagonist of the film. Of course, this is not time for questions after watching the movie. Of course it is to get up and applaud. Director Zhu Ke, actor Paul Walker, and several key staff members appeared on the stage and gave a speech of thanks. Young man, congratulations www.wooksiaspit.com, you have shot a good work. The chairman of the Cannes Film Festival Gil Jacobs shook Zucker's hand, his eyes full of praise and appreciation. Thank you, I still need to keep working hard. Zhu Ke was extremely humble. Martin Scorsese, chairman of the jury of this year's film festival, also smiled. Mr. Wald, a great movie, isn't it? Many other filmmakers who were invited also congratulated Zhu Ke for making such an excellent short film. Tuner, Mr. Wald, I am a reporter from the Cannes bi-weekly, Nimitz Fruit. May I ask you, was the male protagonist in the film eventually killed? A middle-aged male reporter rushed to Zhu Ke. Asked a question, Mr. Wald, I'm a reporter from French Spiegel, Liz Canafeolo. Well, I also want to ask you, did the actor die? That's right. Many reporters on the scene mentioned the most topic about the final ending of the film is Adrian dead or not. In fact, Zhu Ke doesn't know what the fuck. Unlike Zhu Ke's previous screenwriters, he will work with numerous screenwriters to modify, adjust and delete the script to varying degrees. However, this time he directed the tuner himself, in addition to placing advertisements, hardly any changes, that is to say, there are no other traversers, otherwise Zhu Ke will definitely be shameless. But anyway, judging from the audience's current reaction, Tuner is a success. In fact, that evening, the local evening paper in Cannes, as well as the morning papers in other areas the next day, reported on Tuner, and Zhu Ke himself sent the third update, thanks to book friends Hollywood heroes for their rewards. Chapter 181, The Media and Number 039, S Enthusiasm. The word of mouth of the tuner spreads as people who have watched the film gradually attracted more people to watch the film, but, because there are so many people who want to watch the movie, many people cannot watch it successfully, especially some media reporters. Looking at the long lines of people, and the people who kept coming, they were almost desperate. Damn the Cannes Film Festival, can't they cancel the grading system for media journalists' credentials? A journalist with a yellow journalist's credentials couldn't help but complain. Many reporters in the same industry around him, mainly those with yellow and blue certificates, agree with him very much. That's right, if I can't see Tuner today, how can I write a film review and an article? My editor-in-chief can't tear me up, it's too difficult for me. Envy those big newspapers and well-known media. They finished watching the movie. Yes, we reporters can only queue up eagerly. Hey, I hope I can see Tuner today, otherwise I can't explain it since I go back. Each reporter gritted his teeth with hatred. Anyone who has followed the Cannes Film Festival will basically know a system that is specifically designed for media reporters, the Media Reporter ID rating system. Cannes Film Festival, a place where you can queue up to doubtful life according to the grading system of Media Reporter IDs. The IDs are divided into 3, 6 or 9 grades according to their colors. Some people, white certificates, do not have to line up, and some people, pink certificates, line up slightly, but most people, blue and yellow certificates, are ranked can't get into despair high-level certificates, which are reserved for the big media. So I care, as long as you attend the Cannes Film Festival, you can see a large number of reporters waiting in the sun, sweating in front of the exhibition halls of some popular films. There is no way. They have to eat too. Waited for a few hours. They were exhausted physically and mentally. They finally lined up to enter. If it's a good movie, then it's fine. If it's a bad movie, these irritable reporters can think how bad the mood will be. They can scold the directors and actors of these bad movies afterwards. Therefore, the Cannes Film Festival is also known as the most arrogant film festival in the media field. Boo. However, today, a group of media reporters took a long breath after waiting in line for a while. Tuner is a good movie. That's right, otherwise we have been in line for more than 2 hours and watched a bad movie. Would we be mad at it? My god. I really didn't expect that a billionaire super rich like Zhu Ke Wald could actually make such an excellent short film, and the director is still so young. Zhu Ke Wald is really good. Even if he is only in the director industry, he can become a billionaire one day in the future. I have a hunch that the major media newspapers tonight, including the morning paper tomorrow morning, will definitely be headlined by Tuner and director Zhu Ke Wald. Guys, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and go back for business. After reading Tuner, all the media reporters hurriedly went back to write articles, hoping to publish articles before their peers as expected. In the evening of that day, there were many multimedia newspapers and magazines covering the tuner. As the official media of the Cannes Film Festival, Cannes Film Bi-Weekly published commentary articles as soon as possible, short but savvy, resonating human tragedy. Cannes Film Bi-Weekly comment on Tuner. The title of the article. The article said, "The Tuner is a short film of less than 14 minutes, but the plot contained in it is not impressive. The film uses a clever concept that is not clever to be misunderstood, and is short and concise. Human greed, cowardice, and hypocrisy are all hidden in this tuner who pretends to be blind. I believe that in the end, many people hope that this clever tuner will not be killed, but through the director's extensive foreplay, from a rational point of view, this must be a tragedy, and the abrupt end of the film's open ending adds infinite possibilities to the film." Many readers who bought the Cannes Film Bi-Weekly in the evening also agreed with this view. At the same time, there are more tourists who came to watch the movie, and they didn't realize that some of them were interested. Tuner, actor Paul Walker, youth genius director, Zhu Ke Wald. Wow. This director is still America's super rich. Since everyone says the movie is good, then I have to go and see it. A movie audience from Iceland. After watching the report, his eyes lit up. The next day, early morning, Cannes Carlin Hotel, presidential suite. Zhu Ke, who got up early and washed up, was enjoying his breakfast beautifully. Christopher Nolan and Paul Walker also accompanied Zhu Ke to dinner. Mr. Wald, you read this report from French Mirror Entertainment. They are complimenting my excellent performance, saying that my excellent acting skills have added a lot to Tuner. Oh, yes, there are also media newspapers such as Jide Entertainment, French Film Weekly, Caesars Film, Global Times, etc., all of which report our Tuner. Well, except for a few tabloids to attract attention, our movies are basically positive. Paul Walker is a young man. He is praised, and he is naturally chattering. Zhu Ke is also very proud. Although our man copied the entire film, it is plagiarism, but who knows? Many media newspapers have issued predictions that Tuner will definitely win the first place in the first short film competition of the Cannes Film Festival. Zhu Ke is of course very excited. If nothing else, Zhu Ke will win the first personal award since the movie, Paul, let's keep a low profile. The heat must die is a very powerful curse, Zhu Ke reminded him with excitement. Okay, Mr. Wald, Paul Walker responded. For Paul Walker, Zhu Ke still quite admires him for this reason. Zhu Ke has already let the company's screenwriters start to dispatch, quietly, writing the movie script of Fast and Furious. Zhu Ke said again, Nolan, eat slowly, don't worry. Our memories does not start until 10 o'clock in the morning, don't worry. www.ooksias.com. My mind is very peaceful. Nolan is still always calm. At noon, the premiere of Memories, in a certain theater in Cannes, the screening was over. However, many audiences and filmmakers on the scene were stunned, but they were hooked first because many people did not understand. It's so addictive that the movie is indeed very brainstorming and exciting. Martin Scorsese, chairman of the jury of this year's film festival, said to Nolan, director Christopher Nolan, congratulations on your masterpiece, a very beautiful movie. Brain-burning movies are accompanied by many people choosing 2 or 3 brushes. The first update of is here. Today, May 1st, come to a wave of support, dear. Chapter 182, Overseas Adaptation Copyright, Sell It? 6 days have passed since the 12-day Cannes Film Festival. Tuner, directed by Zhu Ke, is undoubtedly the most popular film in the short film competition of this year's film festival. According to incomplete statistics, the total number of filmmakers, film dealers, and tourists currently attracting more than 97,000 people at the current film festival, and in these 6 days, more than 10,000 people have watched Tuner. It accounts for 11% of the total. The popularity of Tuner can be seen. It is estimated that after the 12-day screening, the total number of viewers of Tuner will definitely exceed 15,000. This number is still because there are not enough theaters to show Tuner. Otherwise, the number of people watching the movie will definitely double. Don't underestimate the number of 10,000 people. As of now, the movie with the largest number of viewers at this Cannes Film Festival is Tuner. That's right, Zhu Ke was crowned the title of Genius Director by the local media and audiences, and Memories, directed by Christopher Nolan, is also attracting attention. The screening time of Fragments of Memories has also been 4 days. A total of 1,500 people watched the film, ranking 17th on the list of most popular films in this festival. It's interesting that 68% of the 1,500 people watched the movie, 34% of the audience, 3 brushes of the movie. Even an audience of more than 120 people watched Memories 5 times, can allow many viewers to choose the second and third brushes of memory fragment. Apart from the brainstorming plot, no one can deny its excellence. There is a small audience who loves director Nolan to death. Zhu Ke still remembers when Inception was released. Many fans from all over the world used the film twice or three times, discussing every detail of the film repeatedly. There is no doubt that Zhu Ke has achieved the goal of becoming famous at the Cannes Film Festival. Next, he is waiting for filmmakers from overseas countries to visit May 19. The appetite is almost the same. It's time to meet them, Zhu Ke whispered. Boss, although Our Shards of Memory is popular, it is not a mainstream commercial film after all, and it cannot sell at a high price. Tuner, not to mention, is cheaper. After all, it is only a 14-minute short film. After the merchants buy it, they can only sell it to the TV station in their area, Alexander reminded. I know, Zook nodded. A few days ago, after Zhu Ke rejected some film companies from various countries and regions, he finally chose to meet some people and sell the copyright. Actually, Zook doesn't care about the price of the copyright sale, how much can sell for. Zook wants overseas distribution channels. These film producers from various countries and regions who come to the Cannes Film Festival are all local snakes in their region. Even if they cannot have a very strong position in Mexico like the Carlos Foundation, they should not be underestimated. They can help Wald. The construction of overseas channels for the film industry has reduced some resistance. Even if this effect is minimal, it is a good start after all. In order to express his sincerity, Zhu Ke chose to negotiate with him in person. It didn't take long. Boss, let me introduce you. The three filmmakers are Baron Tobit from the UK, Mr. Williams from Spain, and Miss Zhou from Zhejiang. Alexander introduced Zhu, got up and said, "It's nice to meet three of you. Please sit down, Mr. Wald, nice to meet you." At Zhu's gesture, everyone took their seats in the presidential suite, and the hotel staff also brought in a few cups of coffee. Baron Tobit, he is a little hunchback and thin-body. He is a veteran nobleman in the UK. The family industry has a capital of up to £300 million, involving water, film, finance and other related industries. Williams Juan, he's a middle-aged obese man in his 40s and a distant relative of the Spanish royal family. According to his genealogy, he is also the nephew of King Alfonso of Spain. Of course, it's the one that is more distant, but even so, Williams Juan has considerable strength in Madrid and runs the 9th-ranked theater in Spain. Miss Zhou, she is 35 years old and comes from Hong Kong. She is one of the main persons in charge of the overseas distribution department of Golden Harvest Pictures. When referring to Golden Harvest Pictures, many people's first impression is Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan and others. They have collaborated with Golden Harvest and are their artists. Even these years, Jaya Pictures has fallen a bit, but with the Young and Dangerous series and the Storm series, it is still one of the top film companies in Hong Kong, not to mention that it has theaters in hand, and its strength is also not small. There is no doubt that these three are the overseas film companies that Zhu Ke chose to cooperate with in the future after careful selection. I know what the three came from, Zhu Ke solemnly said. It is to obtain the overseas screening rights of Memories, and even to directly obtain the overseas copyright in your area. The voice of fell. And the three of them nodded one after another. Mr. Wald is right. Of course there is Tuner. Although it is only a short film, it can be changed into a 90-minute feature film. Williams Juan added. Agree, Baron Tobit. Even if it is broadcast on a TV channel, it is definitely a good film that can attract the audience. Miss Zhou said. Zook shook his head and said, "First of all, I have to say sorry to the three of you. We, Wald Pictures and Paramount, have an overseas distribution contract and cannot sell the overseas screening rights of Memories to you." The three of them frowned. You must know what they came here, mainly for Shards of Memory. As for Zook's Tuner short film, it is just an accessory. However, we can sell the overseas adaptation copyright of Memories to you. Similarly, there is also the adaptation copyright of Tuner, Zhu Ke added. Hearing this, the expressions of the three people present have improved a lot. There was silence for 10 seconds. Mr. Wald, I accept your proposal. Both Memories and the Tuner are excellent films, and I believe they will be equally exciting after the adaptation of Spanish localization. Williams Juan was the first to speak. I have to say, he has a vision. You know, in 2018, the Indian version of Tuner won the first place in the domestic box office rankings in India that year, with a revenue ratio as high as 10 times Fragments of Memory. Not to mention, in December 2017, it was selected into the list of protected films by the American Library of Congress. The Korean version, the Chinese version, the African version, etc., adapted from it, have localized versions in more than a dozen countries, and their influence is amazing as Williams once spoke. The other two also nodded in agreement. In the words of Baron Tobit, the two films are really excellent, I don't want to miss it. After some discussions, Zhu Ke signed a letter of intent for copyright assignment with the representatives of the three parties. Of course, the formal contract is not signed so quickly in some details. It needs to be discussed by professionals. Zhu told them in front of the three that Alexander was responsible for signing the contract. May 24, www.wuxiaspit.com morning. On the last day of the 51st Cannes Film Festival, Alexander, on behalf of Zhu Ke Wald Pictures, formally signed a copyright transfer contract with Williams and others. The adaptation rights of the two films Tuner and Memories in the UK, Spain, and Hong Kong were officially sold for a total price of $1.9 million. To be honest, not much. For a billionaire like Zhu Ke, it is a drop in the bucket, but no matter how small a mosquito is, it is meat. Furthermore, Zhu Ke's main purpose of selling the adaptation copyright to them is not to make money, but to obtain cooperation with them, and to lay a foundation for the establishment of overseas distribution channels. On the same day, in the afternoon, Zhu and Christopher Nolan, dressed up, walked on the red carpet. Man, today is the time for awards. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 183, Awarded. Welcome to Mr. Wald and Mr. Nolan. When Zhu Ke walked through the red carpet and planned to enter the venue directly, they were called by the off-site host on the red carpet to have a simple chat. The off-site host is a tan-haired woman under the age of 30. Villa Ledevin is the head host of the French TV station and entertainment channel in Paris, and is well known in France. Mr. Wald, according to the audit committee's statistics, the short film Tuner, directed by you, during the bi-weekly Cannes Film Festival, has a total of 16,752 viewers. This data is not only it's just the film with the most number of viewers in this film festival. It also broke the record for the most number of viewers since previous film festivals. What do you think? Hostess Villa Ledevin asked with a smile. Thank you, Zhu thanked. The Tuner has gained so much love from the audience. As a young director, besides thanking me, I am still grateful. Mr. Wald, Tuner is currently the most popular film in the short film competition section of this year's film festival. I must be able to beat all competitors today and win the first prize in this unit without pressure. Female host. The person said. Hearing this, Zhu Ke shook his head for the first time. Nima, this hostess is not a good bird either. Where's this to congratulate Zhu Ke? This is clearly digging a hole. Although it is said that in front of the group, Westerners will confess unceremoniously and say that they are full of confidence. But looking at the three major European film festivals, the Oscars in the United States, etc., almost no one dares to directly say that they will win. Why? Because once he stood up, he failed in the end. What a shame. Moreover, the major media of the next day will certainly not let go of this opportunity for ridicule. Don't you see James Cameron, the tyrant on the set, a madman like him who took part in a Titanic film that broke the record in film history and participated in the Oscars in 1998? Before the result was unveiled, he faced an interview with the media, is also extremely humble, can't stand upright. It's okay to be humble now. Besides, Zhu Ke is a very humble young boy. Zhu Ke thought to himself. The hostess didn't ask for anything in Zhu, and she turned her attention to Christopher Nolan. First of all, congratulations to Mr. Nolan. Congratulations to the movie Fatal Turn 2, directed by you. Since its release, it has won a global box office of $120 million. The hostess congratulated. Thank you. Nowadays, Nolan is still relatively shy, and he didn't just sway the media later. Director Nolan, Shards of Memory, directed by you, has won the favor of many audiences with its brain-burning plot setting. Even a series of films in the main competition unit have outstanding results. I believe it will definitely stand out. Won the grand prize. This time the host was not using yaoyao. 1 hour later, the guests invited to attend this year's Cannes Film Festival, except for a small number of people absent, have basically come. It stands to reason that new directors like Zhu Ke and those who participated in the Cannes Film Festival for the first time are arranged very far back, but this time Zhu Ke's position is very high. The third row is almost a prime location. This is the charm of money. In other words, If it wasn't for Zhu Ke's wealth of over $1 billion and the owner of Wald Pictures, would the festival organizers provide Zhu Ke with such a high position? The answer is definitely no. Isn't it just a few stinky money? As for such arrogance, a young director in the back row couldn't help but sullen away. As soon as he said this, he was immediately recognized by many people the first place in the short film competition, but there is a prize of 15,000 euros. Is this the American rich man? That's right, he has already directed a film like Lola Run with a global box office of more than $100 million. Why do you want to participate in the short film competition? You are not a bully. Damn old beauty. While these young directors are sorrowful, aren't they also jealous of Zhu Ke, Adam, a French director? The film Jakob directed by him was shortlisted for the short film competition of this year's film festival, and it is a movie with a high demand for awards of course. Jakob is completely weaker than Zhuke's Tuner and other pre-jeweled movies. At this moment, the director Adam frowned tightly. He feels that the possibility of defeating Tuner is very slim. As expected, the first list announced at the awards ceremony of this year's film festival was the final ranking of the short film competition. The Sheep Thief won the third place and won a prize of 7,500 euros. Jakob won the second place and won a prize of 11,250 euros. The first place is the Tuner directed by Zhu Ke. As for the prize of 15,000 euros for the first place, Zhuke naturally didn't care much. The bonus amount is not enough to recover the cost of filming Tuner. The champion, runner-up and third runner-up in the short film competition unit has little attention after all, and it is the first time. Therefore, there is no chance to speak separately. However, after receiving the trophy, Zhu Ke was interviewed by dozens of reporters in the background. This directly caused the directors of the two films, The Sheep Thief and Jakob, to lose their mentality. Mr. Wald, congratulations, Mr. Wald, I am a reporter for Cannes Bi-Weekly. Can you give us an interview? Congratulations, Mr. Wald, you won the first title in the first short film competition, and you will always be named at the Cannes Film Festival, sir. As far as I know, the Berlin Film Festival and the Venice Film Festival will also have short film competition units. Will you participate? A group of reporters gathered around to grab the headlines, and all of a sudden, they rushed. Of course, there is no shortage of provocative reporters, saying that Zhu Ke is bullying the small. After winning the award, Zhu Ke was in a very good mood, and he answered several of their questions in a rare synergy. Beat the small with the big. Guys, what are you kidding about? Zhu Ke Wald won the first name by virtue of my own strength. You said that bullying the big and the small is mocking me, or do you look down on those young directors who also participated in the competition unit? Oh? You asked me if the 15,000 euros would be donated to charity. Why donate? It's good for me to have money. I also do charity every year, but this 15,000 euros is my prize money. It has an extraordinary meaning and I will keep it. Just kidding. Why do I have to donate the money I won? Do unto others, do not impose on others. It didn't take long for Christopher Nolan to win the prize, jury prize. Although the gold content of this award is not as good as the Palme d'Or, the Best Director Award, and the Best Actor and Actress Award, it is also a number of awards, equivalent to the second best film besides the best film. Christopher Nolan became famous in the first battle with Shards of Memory. After winning the prize, Nolan enjoyed the process of being blocked by the media, and the haze of the prize was wiped out in the past few days. You know, before the opening of the film festival, he didn't receive the invitation letter for the reception. It seemed nothing, but he was really worried. The first update of his sent, and I asked for daily support. Cute. Chapter 184, Spider-Man, Little Wizard, Peppa Pig. Zhuke and Nolan, who had finished their trip to Cannes, did not stay in Europe. The next day they took the earliest flight of the day and returned to the United States. After all, Zhuke still has a lot of business to deal with. Wald Pictures boss, congratulations on your award. Kevin Fitch and others hurriedly congratulated. Zhuke smiled and waved his hands. Hey, it's just a small award in the short film unit. Whenever I get a Best Director Oscar and a Best Director at the Cannes Film Festival, it will not be too late for you to congratulate me, boss. What you said is, there is no doubt. Zhu Ke, little student, floating. Several other executives of Wald Pictures also sent congratulations one after another, and they also found out a number of American newspapers earlier this morning. Well, it is an exaggeration of Zucker and Nolan's remarks. Okay, everyone. Zhuke adjusted his mentality and solemnly said, I am here today to announce two things. In the face of Zhu Ke in such a solemn state, The executives such as Kevin Fitch were all startled. Sure enough, Kevin Fitch narrowed his eyes. In fact, as early as Zhu Ke returned to the United States, he did not return to the villa, but appeared directly at Wald Pictures. The inherently sensitive Kevin Fitch had a bad feeling. The first thing, the original 20th Century Fox CEO Bill Mitnick has accepted my invitation and will take up the post of president of Wald Pictures in an instant. Before Zhu Ke's words were finished, many executives present made waves of uproar. Mr. Fitch, an executive, muttered for a while. Everyone present inadvertently left Kevin Fitch as the vice president. You need to know that, although Kevin Fitch was a vice president in name, he was responsible for the specific work of the entire Wald Pictures industry. He was actually the president and the #1 leader now. Bill Mitnick is parachuted, so how does Kevin Fitch deal with himself? Be quiet, gentlemen, Zhu Ke said solemnly. I hope that Vice President Fitch, and everyone here, can support Mitnick's work and develop Wald Pictures. The others don't care. Kevin Fitch's face is a bit ugly. The second thing, Harry Potter and Spider-Man have officially entered the project. The company's screenwriting department and production department must submit a complete script and shooting plan within 3 months, and start casting and shooting early next year. Okay, that's it, the meeting is over. After finishing talking, Zhu Ke ignored the reaction of the crowd. Surrounded by the chief assistant Alexander and a group of bodyguards, he boarded the car and left Wald Pictures. In the car, Alexander, who was sitting in the passenger seat, wanted to ask Zhu Ke several times, but because of his identity, he stopped talking. Alexander, you want to ask me, why did you tell Kevin Fitch and the company executives beforehand to make a decision? Zhu Ke laughed. Yes, boss. Alexander nodded and said, although the executives of Wald Pictures have been slack in the past 6 months, Mr. Fitch's work is still quite good. You don't plan to talk to him alone? Hearing this, Zhu Ke's face immediately showed a playful look. Alexander, I am the boss of the company. They are just professional managers, punish for mistakes, stand upright when beaten, in the workplace. They are not children. I don't need to coax them like a kid. If I can't figure this out, then get out as soon as possible. I have to say that Zhu Ke is now more and more like a capitalist. Once upon a time, Zhu Ke would be very happy to see those celebrities who will achieve great achievements in the future, and deliberately befriend and draw in. But now, Zhu Ke only knows one truth: the workplace is the battlefield. Is not to say that you are excellent, I must coax you because there are many better people than you. Not long after, Zhu Ke and his party drove to Silicon Valley destination Wald building. Boss, welcome, the director of Water World Animation Studio, Steven Solenberg, and the lead screenwriter David Messer. Both went out to meet Zhu Ke and his party in person. As the group walked to the company conference room, Steven also explained the company's recent development. Boss, the second season of the company's SpongeBob SquarePants has been completed and has been sent to the Up TV network. It is expected to be broadcast at the end of May. At the same time, the second project team led by David Messer has also completed the 100 episodes of Peppa Pig, and is currently in the process of dubbing and scoring. Zhu Ke continued, where's the work of Finding Nemo? For the Water World Animation Studio, Zhu Ke is undoubtedly very concerned about it. It is one of the indispensable and important territories of the entire media empire. Whether it's SpongeBob SquarePants, Peppa Pig, or Finding Nemo, they are all animated series that can bring Zhu Ke a lot of profit, and it is also whether the Water World Animation Studio can enter the first-class animation company, the most important step. Boss, Finding Nemo is currently progressing smoothly. It is expected that the film will be completed in the first half of 1999, and the release will be completed in the second half of 1999. Steven responded. Zhu nodded in satisfaction. Not long after, Zhu Ke and others finally entered the Water World Animation Studio. Today's animation studio is no longer the grassroots team at the beginning of its establishment. It has a trump card series such as SpongeBob SquarePants that dominates the American children's animation field, and it already has a foothold in the United States. The entire studio has 325 employees, of which 275 are animation designers engaged in frontline work. And how big are 50 of them? They are talents dug from Jobs Pixar Animation. For this reason, Zhu Ke received several calls from Jobs and John Lasseter, all of them cursing Zhu Ke for not being honest. The workplace is like a battlefield. Even if Zhu Ke has a good relationship with Jobs and Lasseter www.wuxiaspit.com, this does not prevent Zhu Ke from poaching similarly. Zucker's Wald Pictures has repeatedly been poached by big companies after launching a number of popular films. CEO Victor is the first to bear the brunt. Only Zhu Ke knows, there are 6 major Hollywood studios like Paramount, Warner and Disney. Otherwise, Zhu Ke would not put the option dividend reward plan on the agenda early. The generals of the company are gone, and no matter how good Zhu Ke is, he is still incapable of doing it. After visiting the Water World Animation Studio, Zhu Ke took the elevator again to the LinkedIn company located in the same building. In the next few days, Zhu Ke has been busy dealing with the work at hand. He didn't stop working until he received a call from Henry, the person in charge of Daffin Capital. The second update of his sent. Chapter 185, Counting the Gains of the Asian Financial Crisis. May 21, New York Wall Street, Gale Capital Investment Corporation. Today, Henry Jugenberg, the head of Daffin Capital Investment Company, and several key members of the team, will report to Zhu Ke, chairman of Daffin Investment Company, on all the financial and accounting conditions of the Asian financial crisis from the end of December to mid-May. Make an all-round formal report. Actually, it is not just Daffin Capital that is making a final inventory. The major investment companies on Wall Street also completed their closings in May. Of course, it does not deny that it is the reason why Asian countries and regions have survived the financial crisis. There is another reason, that is, the 7 principles of Wall Street. The fourth rule: make clearance and exit rule. Let's start. Following Zhu Ke's order, everyone in the meeting room was stern. Henry Jugenberg got up, turned his back to the projector, and said in a loud voice, "Boss, everyone. Since December 29, 1997, until May 16, we used the company's $55 million in funds for the second time fighting in the Japanese foreign exchange market, and then followed by other international speculators, returned to the financial markets of Southeast Asian countries and regions, squeezing wealth again and again. At present, this part has already created a profit of $270 million. The voice fell. Everyone present, including Zhu Ke, applauded warmly. Although this $270 million profit is far less than the profit of more than $1.4 billion in the first and second stages of the financial crisis, it is already true to be able to make this money in Boyne's treacherous post-Asian financial crisis. It's quite remarkable. After all, during the entire financial crisis, the bulk of profit was mainly concentrated in the early and mid-term. In the later period, as Asian countries and regions adjusted their financial industry policies, there was not much left in the water. Zhu Ke is of course very happy. You must know that the principal amount of $55 million belongs to Zhu Ke's personal investment. Well, even if part of it is to be deducted to Henry and the specific operators, the remaining funds are still more than $220 million. Therefore, Zhu Ke's overseas personal account will undoubtedly add another wealth. Henry, talk about the external investors we have absorbed, including the income of external investors' funds, Zhu Ke said with a smile. Okay, boss, Henry Jugenberg responded and extracted a document from the information before him. Boss, everyone. As of the 16th of this month, we have absorbed the total of 8,812 external investors, a total of $610 million in funds. After several consecutive days and months of operation, the funds have now been converted to $740 million. The half-year profit ratio is 0.21%. Therefore, although our total operating capital is not a big deal among the major investment companies on Wall Street, our profit ratio for half a year is more than 84% of investment companies. Well, this is because the financial crisis has caused major investment banks' wealth surges. Otherwise our earnings ratio will definitely exceed 91% of the company. The voice fell, and everyone was excited again. Zhu Ke is also very pleased. I never imagined that I would make so much by using the money from outside investors. A normal and reasonable financial investment company is to absorb the funds of external investors and use this part of the money to invest in gold, stocks, foreign exchange, silver, crude oil, bonds, etc., so as to earn the price difference and service fees. Wall Street Investment Company don't need your own money to invest. The third law of Wall Street. Zhu Ke's previous investment behavior in the foreign exchange market, strictly speaking, is not regarded as the normal operation of a qualified financial investment company. After all, that is Zucker's own money. Henry, what is the minimum return we have promised to the outside world? Zhu Ke asked. 8.5%. The first phase income is 8.5%, and the first phase duration is 3 years. Henry responded. Fuck, I don't know. After the calculation, Zhu Ke found that this is a very profitable behavior. After a moment of thinking, Zhu Ke said again, according to you, the average investment of an investor we currently absorb is only $69,000? No. This threshold is too low. We need to raise it. Henry nodded, and then pointed to another company executive, Andy Chenip. Andy Chenip is also a senior practitioner on Wall Street. He stood up and replied, "Boss, in fact, Mr. Jugenberg and I are already considering the issue of the threshold of access funds." Oh, Zhu became interested for a while, boss. After 1 month of collecting data and half a month of discussion, we have now drafted a proposal on the threshold of entry. A temporary proposal was naturally presented to Zhu Ke 100,000. That's right, the threshold for capital access has been raised to $100,000. In other words, if you have not invested more than $100,000, Devon Capital Investment Company will not accept it as the shop bullying. In fact, Devon Capital's $100,000 entry threshold is completely a younger brother compared with large investment banks. The standard for large investment banks is basically $1 million start. At the same time, in this proposal, Zhu Ke saw that the upper limit of the number of investors in each period is 20,000. This is to ensure that while achieving high returns, the lowest profit ratio can be ensured. The plate is too big, beyond its own capacity, and it is also prone to accidents. For example, Madoff scam. Bernard Madoff, former Nasdaq chairman, and the largest financial fraud maker in the history of the United States, has operated a Ponzi scheme with a fraud amount of more than $60 billion. In June 2009, Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison for a fraud case in New York. He is a very greedy guy. His foreign investors promised a high return ratio, which attracted a large number of wealthy individuals to invest in his foundation. You said, "What should I do if I don't make money? Rob Peter to pay Paul." In fact, Bernard Madoff's foundation was unable to achieve the return ratio he promised, so he could only lie and falsify, absorbing funds from new investors to make up for the income of old investors. Paper cannot contain fire. In the end, he can only end dismal. Part of his failure was the reason why the plate was too big. After the meeting, Zhu Ke and Henry had a long talk about Devon Capital's partnership system and the company's share allocation. www.wuxiaspit.com. That's right, Zhu wants to allocate 35% of Devon Capital's shares to Henry and the team. Devon Capital, which is solely owned by Zhu Ke, will be transformed into a financial partner investment company that is the norm on Wall Street. Zhu, would you like it? Can only willing. Financial investment company, to put it plainly, mainly depends on the ability of talent. If you don't give them shares in the company, let them become partners. They will definitely take the company's resources and personal resources the next day and switch to other companies, without any discipline or loyalty. Don't doubt, this kind of thing is happening on Wall Street every day. Soros's Quantum Fund, Merrill Lynch and other large Wall Street investment banks have a partner system. The first update of is sent. Chapter 186, To enjoy, you have to learn to spend money. A few days later, on the equity distribution contract drafted by Zhu Ke's personal lawyer Zhang Wei, the 12 key members of Gale Capital, such as Henry Jugenberg and Andy Chenip, were very excited to sign after multiple lawyers confirmed that they were correct. Under their respective names, congratulations. Starting from today, you are not only an employee of Devon Capital, but also one of the shareholders and partners of Devon Capital. Zhu Ke congratulated. "Thank you, boss. Thank you, Mr. Wald." Henry and others who signed the contract expressed their heartfelt thanks to Zhu Ke. Can they not thank Zhu? After all, Zhu Ke gave them 35% of the shares at once. Among them, Henry Jugenberg, as the main person in charge of Gale Capital, took 10% alone, ranking first among the people. Andy Chenip, as the second member of the team, is also an expert in the analysis of Gale Fund, and he shares 8% of the shares. The remaining 10 people share the remaining 17% according to their status and abilities. The company's shares have been determined in this way. Of course, this is definitely not fixed. After 1 or 2 years, as long as the other people in the company make corresponding contributions, then I will never be stingy with equity dividends, Zhu stated. "I sincerely hope that everyone in our Devon team will become a billionaire." Everyone nodded. With the completion of the redistribution of equity, Zhu Ke immediately transferred the $220 million that belonged to him in the company's account, and transferred it to Zhu Ke's own overseas account with Swiss Bank. After all, this is Zhu Ke's personal capital investment profit. It does not belong to Devon Capital. The funds that really belong to Devon Capital are hundreds of millions of dollars invested by 8,812 external investors. Actually, Henry Jugenberg, Andy Chenip, etc., have not thought about kicking Zucker away. They plan to establish a new company alone, but, after some calculations, they themselves rejected it. At the beginning of the Asian financial crisis in 1997, in Thailand, Malaysia, the Philippines and other places, Zhu Ke used his astonishing sense of smell and foresight to deal with several key points, leaving Henry and others with a profound impression. In the three major markets of foreign exchange, stocks, and futures in Japan and South Korea, Zhu Ke made several surprisingly accurate judgments, which made Daffin Capital grab a lot of delicious cakes while feeding wolves. One operation is a coincidence, it's a miracle if the judgment is correct twice, 3 times, 4 times, many times of correct operation. That undoubtedly proves to be a genius. The most important thing for people is to recognize themselves. Henry and others clearly recognize the situation of themselves and others. They don't doubt whether setting up a new company can make money, but they are also very sure that following Zhu Ke, they will be able to make more money. New York, hotel, boss. In accordance with a personal finance tax law implemented by the U.S. federal government and states in the first half of this year, the $220 million that you just put into your personal overseas account, once transferred back to the United States, you will have to pay at least $58 million in taxes. Zhang Wei said to Zhu Ke. Hearing this, Zhu's eyelids jerked. If you intend to buy private jets, yachts, or luxury homes as a boss, then your private accounting team and I are confident that the taxes paid will be reduced to less than $2 million. Of course, if your money is not transferred back to the United States, then you can treat everything I said above as not having heard it. Zhang Wei said again, I need time to think about it. After Zhu Ke finished speaking, he asked Zhang Wei to leave the presidential suite of the hotel. Zhu really needs to think about it. As a member of the current American super rich, Zhu Ke, like many of them, likes to collect and buy some big toys. I didn't have the chance before, now I can buy some big toys. I have to say that Zhu Ke did have an urge to buy big toys, private jet, yacht, mansion, farm, even a private island. Do it if you want. The next day, in the morning, as Zhu Ke's chief assistant, Alexander, handed Zhu Ke a price list of big toys such as private jets and yachts, Europe's Airbus, America's Gulfstream, Boeing, Canada's Bombardier. It can be said to have everything, and it is dizzying. After considering the investigation, Zhu Ke did not choose those luxury large aircrafts with a price of more than $50 million, but first chose a super medium aircraft. The Gulfstream G200 price, $20.5 million. Gulfstream G200 is a super medium business jet and one of the most luxurious business jets in the world. As the first new generation super midsize business jet, the Gulfstream G200 received widespread attention from all over the world when it was first launched in early 1997. Until now, the Gulfstream G200 still maintains the longest range, the largest cabin, and the best reputation in terms of overall performance and price among its class of business jets. Of course, it is not my private jet. I bought it for the Golden Dawn Entertainment Group, as a business jet for the group's senior executives in the future. Boeing 767 private jet, which is modified by Boeing Airlines on the basis of the Boeing 767 large aircraft, adds many safety settings and luxurious interior decoration. It is a large private car specially designed for the rich. The price is between $56 million and $110 million. According to the interior decoration, the price will of course be different. If you are willing to learn from some local tyrants in the Middle East, then the cost can be pushed up to $200 million. I bought it. Buy as long as you want. $110 million is perfectly fine. Boeing 767 private jet is favored by many rich Americans. For example, Google boss Sergey Brin and Larry Page also chose the Boeing 767 private jet, which cost $200 million before and after. Of course, the $200 million they spent is actually comparable to the $1.10 that Zhu spent, because there is a difference of nearly 10 years, and inflation and the depreciation of the US dollar are the main factors. 2 days have passed. Zhu Ke signed aircraft purchase contracts with Gulfstream and Boeing. Gulfstream G200, as the group's business jet, will be delivered at the end of October 1999. Boeing 767, as Zucker's private car, will be delivered in May 2000. Take down the two-seater aircraft. And Zhu spent a total of $130 million on it. Rizal, the remaining $90 million so far. Zhu Ke has spent another $20 million to order a 65-meter yacht. Of course, Zhu's spending is far from over. Ferrari, Maserati, Lamborghini, and other well-known sports cars. www.uxiaspit.com. Zhu ordered 9 cars in one go, costing $6 million. Located in a 500-acre farm in the Great Lakes region of the United States, Zhu Ke also unceremoniously won it at a cost of $12 million. At the same time, in the Bahamas, less than 200 kilometers from New York, Zucker also purchased a small island called White Pearl, again at a cost of $42 million. In other words, after purchasing 2 airplanes, 1 yacht, 9 sports cars, 1 farm, and 1 island, Zuck's $220 million from Gale Capital spent a total of $190 million, and currently only $30 million are left. Oh my god, this is the life of the rich. Well, life is complete. For a moment, Zuck felt that his walking was a little erratic. The first update of his scent. Chapter 187, Acquire WB Television Network. May 26, Upton Television Network at 9 o'clock this morning, as the chairman of the Golden Dawn Entertainment Group, Zhu Ke, and the representatives of Time Warner and Columbia, the owners of the WB Television Network, formally discussed the matter of Upton Television Network's comprehensive acquisition of WB Television Network under the witness of a group of media. Sign the sale contract. In other words, starting today, there will be 2 TV networks under the Golden Dawn Entertainment Group: our Upton TV Network and We TV Network. Upton TV Network, focusing on limited TV network, user-paid subscription. Its future development goal is to benchmark HBO TV network and make every effort to create high-cost, high-quality TV series and movies, and will cancel the advertisement in order to obtain more user subscriptions, a better user experience. WB Television Network, which focuses on public television networks, similar to the major television stations of the Great Yuan Dynasty. After the acquisition of the WB TV Network, the variety shows originally owned by the Upton TV Network, including Got Talent Show, WWE Wrestling Entertainment, and other programs, will be moved to the We Public Television Network. Clear program classification will enable the 2 TV networks under the Golden Dawn Entertainment Group to have more professionalism. Also has a stronger competitiveness. From today, Golden Dawn Entertainment Group, which owns 2 TV networks, Upton and WB, is enough to rank in the top 10 of American TV networks. The media reporters from all over the stage pressed the shutter frantically, trying to grab the headlines. The villain has the best. Jankford. How do you think the above is considered? The WB Television Network, jointly owned by our Time Warner Group and Columbia Group, was established only 2 years ago. Although it is not comparable to the ABC and NBC television networks at present, the development momentum is not bad. Why should we sell it? Besides, it was sold to the damn Zhu Ke Wald. Among the crowd under the stage, a man was filled with righteous indignation, full of anger. His name is Sildar Lawson, a middle-level manager of Time Warner Group, and he is a staunch anti-Zhu sect in Warner Group. You must know that last year's Got Talent Show program turned out, but it robbed a lot of viewership share, making Sildar Lawson's prize money, which was half less than in previous years. Therefore, Sildar Lawson hates Zhu Ke. I agree with you, Lawson. Jankford, who is also a member of Time Warner Group, is also indignant at this moment. In the past 2 years, for the development of the WB TV network, the group has erected dozens of signal towers on the East Coast, West Coast, and Central regions. It cost more than $200 million. Shareholders of the board of directors of the group, now they say they are sold, and they are sold. Let us below have no time to respond. Sildar Lawson and Jankford of Warner Group are unhappy. In fact, many people across the Time Warner Group are dissatisfied with the decision of the group's board of directors, especially the executives of the subsidiary Warner Pictures, who are most dissatisfied. The entire Hollywood knows that there are many ramblings between Warner Pictures and Wald Pictures. The 2 sides do not say that it is an endless relationship between enemies, but they are definitely not friends. Under this situation, no one expected that Time Warner Group, as the parent company, would sell its WB television network to the parent company of Wald Pictures, Golden Dawn Entertainment Group. The day before signing the contract, Kevin Fitch, the vice president of Wald Pictures, asked Zhu Ke, "Boss, how did you do it?" The newly appointed president of Wald Pictures, Bill Mitnick, also asked curiously. It stands to reason that Warner Group and Columbia Group are both powerful and wealthy. They will definitely not lack your money. Sold the WB TV network, which took 2 years of hard work to build. What if I want to sell ICQ shares to them? Zhu Ke asked rhetorically. Boss, if what you say is true, then they might really let go. Kevin Fitch said. Surely it's not just that, right? Bill Mitnick wondered. Zhu Ke smiled and said, what about the ICQ shares in the hands of Amazon president Jeff Bezos? Fuck. For a while, both Bill and Kevin were shocked and stopped talking. Zhu Ke sent a special person to discuss the acquisition of WB Television Network. When he first discussed with Time Warner Group, they immediately refused. Well, the kind without hesitation. There are even shareholders of Time Warner who sneered, thinking that Zhu Ke was whimsical, but when Zhu Ke's representative offered to sell the ICQ shares in his and Big Wang Tao's hands, they couldn't calm down. People throughout the United States know that Time Warner Group is interested in doing something on the internet. They have invested in 7 or 8 internet companies, but the results are not very good. Otherwise, they will not merge with AOL, one of the internet overlords, around 2000. What are they for? Isn't it just eyeing the high income and high market value of the internet? Nowadays, Zhu Ke almost hands them delicious cakes. How can they refuse? In addition, they also contacted Sony Columbia and sold the shares of WB to Zhu Ke. When the Colombian shareholders heard about this, they were not calm on the spot. Murdoch's News Corporation owns the shares of ICQ, so we must also take it. Otherwise, doesn't it mean that we are lower than 20th Century Fox? A shareholder of Sony Columbia clapped his hands in favor of the matter on the spot. So Zhu Ke took over the WB-TV network easily and happily, and completed an unimaginable deal. Boss, that is the ICQ that is so powerful now. You are really willing to give up? Kevin Fitch couldn't help but feel sorry for Zhu Ke. WB television network is good. Since its establishment 2 years ago, it has built a public television network covering the entire United States. A new force in the public television field, but compared with ICQ, it's really far worse. ICQ currently exists as a giant with as many as 200 million users worldwide. In the current internet boom, many people want ICQ to be unavailable. However, Zhu Ke sold the shares, which is totally unimaginable. Haha. Zhu Ke will of course not tell them that the internet bubble is not far away. Furthermore, whether it is Zhu Ke or Bei Xiaotao, he originally planned to gradually release ICQ shares. Now that he can sell it and exchange it for the WB-TV network he needs, why not do it? Morning. www.uxiaspit.com. After finalizing the acquisition contract of WB Public Television Network, in the afternoon, Ms. Donna Langley, on behalf of the Talent Show Program Group, formally signed an advertising contract for the talent show program with cooperating merchants who have already reached the intention of implanting advertisements. The total advertising contract price is as high as $180 million, compared with the $120 million in advertising for the first season of the show last year. It was a full $60 million higher. The reason why it's higher than $60 million is because of the popularity of talent show. But there is also the reason why WB Public Television Network is a new broadcasting platform after all. The advantage of public television networks in winning household ratings is not comparable to that of cable television networks. In the evening of the same day, major American media reported this series of news under the headline Zhu Ke Wald, the new emperor of television. The second update was sent, and the minister continued to open the third update to make up for what was owed yesterday. Chapter 188. TV Little Emperor Zhu Ke. The next day, the Los Angeles Entertainment News, which has always had a good cooperative relationship with Golden Dawn Entertainment Group, published a title of Little TV Emperor Zhu Ke Wald for the first time, which instantly attracted the attention of many people. Of course, it is more critics and rebuttals from many media. They recognize that after the acquisition of WB Television Network, Golden Dawn Entertainment Group will usher in a rise, but it still needs time to integrate and grow the so-called Little TV Emperor title. They don't agree with it. Disney's ABC TV station ridiculed the Los Angeles Entertainment News in its morning show The Little TV Emperor. This is really ridiculous. Dear audience friends, I don't know when it started, the emperor in the TV field became so worthless. I would like to ask the Los Angeles Entertainment News, I would like to ask Mr. Zhu Ke Wald, are there any Ace TV dramas on the Up TV network under Golden Dawn Entertainment? Are there any hot news programs that ignite public opinion and heated discussions in the era? Are there any familiar music programs? No. Not all, except for the right to broadcast an animated series of SpongeBob SquarePants and the talent show. What do they have? Mr. Zhu Ke Wald, who owns such a no TV station, can he be called the Little TV Emperor? This morning show of ABC TV station, the hosts ridicule, but the roughness of the words is not rough, and it has been recognized by many viewers in front of the TV. An elderly male audience also shook his head and sighed. It is too exaggerated. I neither like variety shows nor animation. I like TV series. Up TV, which does not have high-quality TV series, cannot get it. My approval, the wife next to the old man retorted, I like the talent show. It's so lively and so good. It is said that the second season will start in a few days, but it seems to be transferred to a new one. The TV station, what is it? Oh, yes, it's their newly acquired WB-TV station. Hearing this, the old man was upset, was refuted by his wife. He felt very shameless, so the two began to argue. That day, at noon, CBS TV station, it belongs to the Sony Columbia Group and is one of the 4 major public television networks in the United States. In a program broadcast at noon, it also refuted the words of the TV Little Emperor, although their parent company, Sony Columbia, had a cooperation with the Golden Dawn Entertainment Group yesterday. The two parties had a good talk on the sale of WB shares, but this does not mean that everyone will be friends in the future. Is the opponent? Well, maybe the current size of the Golden Dawn Entertainment Group is far less than Sony Columbia, let alone the Sony Group behind it, but there is indeed greater competition than cooperation between the two. Los Angeles Entertainment News, as a public media, you should tell the facts, basis, and report true news content. Not to please some billionaires and make some false reports. Since you claim that Mr. Zhu Ke Wald is the little emperor of TV, then he must at least have the number of affiliated TV stations that match his identity. WB-TV is one of the public television networks. It has been established in a mere 2 years, so how many affiliated TV stations does it have in every state in the United States? At this moment, many viewers in front of the TV can't help but become interested in watching the eloquent show host. How many affiliated TV stations does the WB-TV network have? This is absolutely unfamiliar to many people. However, for Sony Columbia, one of the former major shareholders of WB Television Network, it is absolutely familiar and can no longer be familiar. 11 seats. That's right, Mr. Zhu Ke Wald, known as the Little TV Emperor, has only 11 local affiliated TV stations in the WB TV network he owns. Then this data, is it more or less? We are not in a hurry to draw conclusions. Let me tell you a set of data. NBC Television Network has 251 affiliated TV stations in the United States. Disney's ABC TV network has 210 affiliated TV stations. Our CBS has 209 affiliated TV stations. Well, even Fox, one of the 4 largest public TV networks to be established at the latest, the TV network also has 29 large-scale affiliated TV stations and 16 small-scale affiliated TV stations. Haha, then I'm curious. Only Mr. Zhu Ke Wald of 11 local affiliated TV stations can be called the Little TV Emperor. Therefore, I can only draw one conclusion now, that is, the Los Angeles Entertainment News has made an exaggerated and untrue report. The audience in front of the TV were in an uproar. There were a lot of young viewers who supported this statement. But they immediately fell and joined the attacking team. In their words, it's not that we don't want to support, but the gap is too big. Indeed, the gap is huge. At the same time, Zhu's luxurious villa. A group of people, including Zhu Ke, also saw this show on CBS TV. John Lasseter pointed at the TV and smiled. Hey, I said, old man, you saw it. If they don't have a dirty word, they will really punish you. Condi, the former ace negotiator, even laughed so hard that he couldn't stand up, and laughed loudly. I like that one the most. Well, what is it? Oh, right. Los Angeles Entertainment, as a public media, you should talk about it. Facts, basis, report the real news content, not to please some billionaires and make some false reports. Although the billionaire has not been named by name, who does not know it is you? Zhu Ke Wald's elder. Zhu Ke's face is as black as charcoal. Hey, I said you guys laughed enough, especially you Condi, you guy. Zhu Ke picked up a cushion on the sofa next to him and threw it straight at Condi. Smashed a solid. Today, the visit of John Lasseter and Condi was sudden and unexpected. Well, old man, I am visiting today and I invite you to attend the new film launch in half a month. Lasseter said. Is it Bug Crisis? Zhu Ke asked. Yes, it is our Pixar Animation's new work Insect Crisis after Toy Story, the first 3 years later. The internal test screening will begin in mid-June, and the small-scale screening will begin at the end of September. It will be officially nationwide during Thanksgiving released, Lasseter responded. Zhu Ke nodded. You reading www.uucan'tchoo.com next. Lasseter also explained why Condi came with him. The reason is that Lasseter personally intends to acquire a graphics software company, and he asked Condi to negotiate. It was purely by the way to come to. Zhu Ke chatted and talked about the TV Little Emperor. Guys, the media is a bunch of bastards. I don't take them seriously. Besides, believe it or not, They won't be long before they will affirm my title of Little TV Emperor." Zook smiled mysteriously. Lassiter and Condi, all were taken aback. "What did you do, Zook?" Condi couldn't help asking. "The third update of his scent thanks to the single otaku and the book friend who was hurt by the flower burial for their rewards." Chapter 189, Peppa Pig Attacks. May 28, evening time. The highly anticipated SpongeBob SquarePants, under the intensive publicity and the anticipation of countless fans, the second season will be broadcast tonight. American families, whether they are children, the elderly, or even many adults, are eagerly awaiting the broadcast of SpongeBob SquarePants 2, James Sean's house. The James family at this moment is very lively. The family was sitting around the dining table. There was Zook's old resident James Sean, as well as his sister Lily, his mother, and kind Aunt Alice, preparing to enjoy a sumptuous dinner. Of course, they still have guests today. James' girlfriend Kang Lee, with her brother Ordos, came to visit. Mother Alice in a wheelchair is very satisfied with her son's girlfriend Kang Lee. Not only is she a top student at Stanford University, but she also has a surprisingly good personality. "Can we start eating?" Sister Lily said eagerly. "Yes, in less than 10 minutes, SpongeBob SquarePants 2 will start broadcasting. If I don't see it, then I will go to school tomorrow." Lloyd, Dorsinger, Perth, Hasina and others. "You will laugh at me." Brother Erdos also agreed. As for Lloyd and Dorsinger, they are his classmates. "Shut up, Erdos. Can't be rude." Sister Kang Lee couldn't help but criticize her brother, but for James' younger sister Lily, she smiled instantly. "Lily, goodbye, we can start eating soon. And we can eat while watching SpongeBob SquarePants." While spoke, she couldn't help but touch Lily's hair gently. "Sister is partial." Brother Erdos couldn't help but said, "Well, the children's remarks really made everyone present." Dumbfounded. Ding dong. At this moment, the doorbell rang. "Zook must be here. Just sit down and I will come to see the door." James suddenly realized, as expected, it was Zhu Ke, as the old residents of the James family, and Alice. Alice is also very concerned about Zook on weekdays. Now that he receives their invitation, Zook will naturally not be absent. Not only that, Zhu Ke also brought a lot of gifts to Lily and Ordos. "Wow." Sister Lily was very excited at the time. "Look, it's a limited edition toy of Little Sponge, as well as Pydaxing and Sandy the Squirrel." "That's great, thank you, Brother Zook." Kang Lee's younger brother Ordos, who is always a small devil, is very happy now. After all, the toys that Zhu Ke brought to them are all limited edition toys. For some rational adults, these are toys, but for children, these are their favorite treasures. "What?" At this moment, Erdos made a sound of surprise. He pointed to the piggy doll in his arms. "Brother Zook, what kind of doll is this?" "The piggy doll? I haven't seen it yet." Kang Lee on the side also immediately asked. "James, when I was with you yesterday, I saw a dazzling array of piggy dolls in your SpongeBob SquarePants house. I wanted to ask at that time, but you were too busy. What animation peripheral products are they?" Upon hearing this, Zook and James immediately smiled at each other. "I think it's better not to say, of course. You will know it by yourself when you watch TV later." Zhu Ke smiled mysteriously. James echoed, "I don't think I should tell you now, otherwise you won't have time to eat." Zhu Ke said so. Kang Lee's people can only give up. A group of people began to enjoy dinner, while turning on the TV. Locked the limited TV up TV children's channel. It didn't take long for SpongeBob SquarePants 2 to start on time. The familiar opening music, the familiar little sponge, the big star, the octopus, and others all appeared on the stage. The scenes that took place were laughable, and once again brought infinite interesting marine life to all audiences. Awesome. It's still my favorite little sponge and big star. Squirrel Sandy is also cute, isn't she? Ha ha ha. I have so many limited edition SpongeBob SquarePants dolls. When I tell Lloyd and Dorsinger to them tomorrow, they will definitely envy me very much. Lily and Erdos, two children, when they saw Little Sponge, they couldn't help but yelled and talked. As for the so-called food and sleeplessness, it does not exist at this moment. In fact, even the older sister Kang Lee, who is an adult, is very excited at this moment. You must know that Kang Lee is also very fond of SpongeBob SquarePants. She and James are together, thanks to the blessing of SpongeBob SquarePants. Otherwise the two will not know each other. Aunt Alice in a wheelchair also watched with gusto. Happy time is always short. More than 20 minutes later, the first episode of the newly launched SpongeBob SquarePants came to an end. My dearest and dearest children, it's time to say goodbye again, but don't be sad, so I'll be very, very, very heartbroken. At the same time, I also want to tell you a good news, that it is our ocean family that has ushered in a new friend. And it is cute Peppa Pig, little sponge said on the TV screen. Peppa Pig. At this moment, not only Kang Lee and others have doubts, but even the countless viewers watching SpongeBob SquarePants are also puzzled. What is this? An adult male audience couldn't help but say after the new episode of SpongeBob SquarePants is played. There is no advertisement. The latest animated series Little Pig Peppa by Waterworld Animation Studio is seamlessly connected, and, as the premiere day of Little Pig Peppa, 5 episodes were broadcast in one go. Peppa Pig Peppa, one by one, she likes to jump in the mud pit. She likes to eat pasta and chocolate cake. She likes to dress up as a little fairy princess, and it appears in the eyes of the audience. Brother George, Daddy Pig, Grandma Pig, Grandpa Pig, also appeared in the story one after another. Wow, cute Piglet. Sister Lily's eyes flashed instantly. The Peppa Pig, which was not popular with them, has now become an extremely precious treasure. American TV viewers www.wooksiaspit.com are sometimes very strange. They don't like Teletubbies, which is also in the preschool kindergarten series. They think it is too naive, but the same brainless Peppa Pig, but it is deeply loved by American audiences in the original time and space. As the birthplace of the 2 animated series, the United Kingdom, the producers are very puzzled by the brain logic of Lau May can only draw one conclusion, that is, a cute appearance is very important. The appearance of cute little pig sister and younger brother George captured the hearts of many people in Lau May. Well, it's like a group of minions who can only babble. In short, the popularity of Peppa Pig is not worse than when SpongeBob SquarePants was first aired. As expected, the shops around SpongeBob SquarePants' house were exploded the next day. As for the media, let alone say more, when they learned about the number of subscribers of SpongeBob SquarePants and Peppa Pig, they were not calm. Again, the first update of is sent. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 190. Second variety show is online. On the first day of SpongeBob SquarePants 2, its subscribers on Up Cable TV Children's Channel exceeded 17 million in one fell swoop, according to the ratio of at least 2 persons in a family. That is to say, SpongeBob SquarePants 2 has only been broadcast for one day, and the number of viewers is at least 34 million. As the number of subsequent viewers increases, the number of viewers in each issue and episode is conservatively estimated there will be more than 60 million. Passengers is not too far away from the 78 million viewers of each episode of SpongeBob SquarePants in the original time and space. Well, there is still a big gap. After all, Up TV station, due to its size, is still not the king of cable TV, but even so, in the field of children's animation series, SpongeBob SquarePants has taken the position of the trump card animation series. And it is not difficult to imagine that with a continuous broadcast of animation, its influence is bound to expand further. It is only a matter of time to surpass the original time and space of 78 million viewers per period. The Los Angeles Entertainment News first published a review article. Well, as it has a good cooperative relationship with Golden Dawn Entertainment Group, it has always been admiring remarks. In the eyes of outsiders, it is the #1 licking dog of Golden Dawn Entertainment Group. Well, the kind that doesn't refute. All the employees of the Los Angeles Entertainment News, including their bosses, were not even proud of their dog-licking remarks in the unexpected world title, SpongeBob, the King of Animated Series. Since SpongeBob SquarePants was broadcast last year, it has been humorous and entertaining, making it deeply loved by the general public. Both children and adults have been deeply captured by it. Yesterday, the launch of SpongeBob SquarePants 2 and its high number of subscribers are enough to prove this. The plot, style, and humor are still so attractive. As the production company of SpongeBob SquarePants, Waterworld Animation Studio, as its broadcast platform Up TV network, I believe that as SpongeBob SquarePants continues to be broadcast, its influence will be further increased. Many people say that Pixar Animation is the new leader in the field of film animation, but our Los Angeles Entertainment News believes that Waterworld Animation is the new king in the field of TV animation series. The whole article has more than 2,000 words. And there is nothing in the line that is appraising of Up TV Network and Waterworld Animation. However, many old beauties, they just like the dog-licking comments of the Los Angeles Entertainment News. Today, the sales volume of Los Angeles Entertainment News has increased by 45% compared to yesterday. This has made many media colleagues angry, Envy, what can they do? Of course is to follow along. In addition to reporting on SpongeBob SquarePants, many media newspapers have not let go of the new animated series Peppa Pig. On the day of its premiere, a total of 5 episodes of Little Pig Peppa were aired, and it received an average of 8.2 million subscribers per episode. This number is certainly not comparable to the number of subscribers to SpongeBob SquarePants 2. However, with 8.2 million subscribers per episode, Peppa Pig, which is only aired for one day, has entered the first-class animation in the field of American TV animation. Among all the animated series broadcasted by major TV stations in the United States yesterday, Peppa Pig is second only to SpongeBob SquarePants 2, ranking second in viewership for a time. The big guys from major TV stations and major animation production companies were shocked. Disney Group Davidson George, the head of Disney's animation department, looked at the report data in his hand. Really furious. Damn Waterworld Animation, it's okay for you to launch a SpongeBob SquarePants to grab the first place, but even the newly released Peppa Pig is also showing off? It's a jerk. Our classic animations such as Disney's Snow White and Sleeping Beauty were also lost to them. How do I, and our entire animation department, explain to the group board of directors? Davidson George was really furious. He tore the report in his hand to shreds, but he was still confused and kicked the ground violently. How does Disney animation exist? It is the pride of American animation and the existence of a civilized world, but nowadays, the animation series they are usually proud of have been defeated by other people's animations, and they are crushed severely. How does this make them accept? The loss of reputation is still secondary. The most direct manifestation is the economic loss. As soon as the U.S. stock market opened this morning, the stock price of Disney Group, the parent company of Disney Animation, fell by 0.12%. With a market value of nearly $30 billion, it lost $350 million. Paper Wealth, the chairman of the Disney Group, Michael Eisner, immediately called and asked Davidson George, the head of the animation department, if you still can't save the decline, then get out of here as soon as possible. The company will not raise idlers, let alone leave waste that tarnishes Disney's glory. In addition to the irritation of the Disney Group, other companies in the Big Six in Hollywood were also shocked. Of course, the most affected are Marvel Comics and DC Comics. On weekdays, children always talk about superheroes such as Spider-Man, Hulk, Superman and Batman, but today, they always have little sponge and pie in their mouths. Words such as Big Star, Peppa Pig and so on. Suddenly, Waterworld Animation Studio and Up TV Network became a big hit at the same time. After the headline Zhu Ke Wald, the Little TV Emperor, published by the Los Angeles Entertainment News not long ago, today there are also 2 media outlets that publish this headline. And it's no longer a mockery, but affirmation. Even though there are still many opponents, it is always a good start. Chain stores around SpongeBob House today. SpongeBob House's 7 stores in the Los Angeles area have experienced a wave of sales. From the beginning of the morning to the end of the business, there is an endless stream of people entering the store to buy peripheral products. The dolls on the shelves have been robbed again and again. 2 animation-related books, clothing, keychains, stationery, and other peripheral products are also big sellers, as the new president of the chain stores around SpongeBob SquarePants House, Taro Hashimoto, has been either answering calls or negotiating underwriting prices with chain stores in various states in the United States. Starting from the morning, the related peripheral products of SpongeBob House on Amazon.com are also in the hot sales ranks. www.oopsyaspit.com. Jeff Bezos even called directly. Congratulations to Zhu for making money again. While the audience was still discussing SpongeBob SquarePants and Peppa Pig, they just joined the WB Public Television Network under the Golden Dawn Entertainment Group, which also attracted many people's attention because tonight, the second season of the talent show is about to start. Also, the well-informed people have learned that after the God Talent Show program is finished tonight, WB Public Television Network will also try to broadcast a new variety show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The reporters from various media can't help but sigh. Why are all Zhu Ke Wald? Related news these days, the second update of is sent. Thank you Huan for your reward. Chapter 191, Mobile Hotspot Package. The media side, the people of the United States are also sighed again and again. No one would have thought that Zhu Ke had done so many things during this period of time, and he frequently made the headlines of the major media. Is like in the Great Heaven Dynasty, one person has been on the hot search again and again in a very short period of time. You said, don't you have to say a few words if you change it? Monthly, Zhu Ke. When many people are not optimistic about Titanic, well, Even the director and production company have been repeatedly discouraged, but Zhu resolutely bought its investment share. In this incident, a large number of American media published articles mocking Zhu Ke severely. The lucky one who people are stupid and have a lot of money suddenly became Zhu Ke's label. In January 1998, when Titanic was released for a month, it has won the box office one after another. It surprised the media reporters and called for miracles at this time. Zhu Ke, who was once dubbed "people are stupid and rich in money," was also appraised as excellent insight by the unscrupulous media in March 1998. Because of the Oscar incident, Zhu Ke once again became a hotspot for media coverage. ICQ went public in April 1998, and Zhu Ke's name as a genius investor spread like wildfire. In mid-May 1998, a 14-minute short film tuner turned out, at the end of May 1998, a large-scale acquisition of the WB Public Television Network, as well as the dispute over the name of Little TV Emperor, etc. Then, with the launch of SpongeBob SquarePants 2 and Peppa Pig, Zhu once again brightened everyone's eyes, the media and the public in the entire United States. I don't know, many people were really taken aback by the calculations. Zhu Ke Wald, it's just a walking mobile hotspot. Many people shocked. Well, Zhu has been given a new title since then. June 1st, 7 p.m. The second season of America's Got Talent returns on time. Former British Daily Mirror editor-in-chief, Piers Morgan, a well-known American veteran actor and singer, David Hasselhoff, well-known Hollywood music PD, writer, agent, Sharon Osbourne, female. There is no doubt that the three people who served as the judges in the first season made the appearance of the scene again. And it made the audience in front of the TV set ecstatic, people like the original team. After all, from this point of view, neither Zhu Ke nor the Go Talent program group has any plans to change the judges for the time being, but it is not ruled out that the number of judges will be increased or the judges will be replaced in the next season. Everything must proceed from the point of view of interests. In the first season of the Got Talent, the package cost of the three judges was $7 million, but in this season, it climbed to $9.5 million. The host of the show, Will Smith, whose cost has risen from $12 million in the previous season to $15 million. The expenditure of the above four people alone is $5.5 million higher than the previous season. Out of cost considerations, Zhu Ke and Donna Langley have already decided that the Got Talent Season 3 will no longer cooperate with Will Smith. The cost is too high. The selection of the judges must also be carefully considered. Once someone speaks loudly, Zhu Ke doesn't mind changing and letting him go as expected. The new season of the talent show is still very exciting, and it did not disappoint the audience. Singing, dancing, acrobatics, magic, talk show, the excellent programs performed by the outstanding players one by one really made the audience and the audience in front of the TV enjoy a visual feast. Of course, those programs that are inherently mysterious but they are also interesting and make many people laugh. Zhu himself was at home and watched this episode in real time. In addition, Ms. Donna Langley, the president of Unlimited Television Network, the interim president of WB Public Television Network, and the chief producer of the talent show program group, reports real-time ratings to Zhu Ke at regular intervals: 7 p.m., 5.8%, 7:20 p.m., 6.6%, 7:40 p.m., 7.1%, 8 p.m., 7.5%. Finally, when the first episode of Go Talent Show Season 2 ended, the peak audience rating of the first episode was as high as 7.95%, just barely breaking 8, and the average audience rating reached 7.23%. There is no doubt that as soon as the second season of Got Talent Show was launched, it broke the ratings of the previous season and was once again the king of ratings of the day. The talent show was able to achieve such results as soon as it was broadcast. As a public television station, as a new broadcasting platform, WB Television Network has really contributed. TV Network is ultimately a limited TV station, and it is naturally weaker than public TV stations in terms of grabbing viewers and winning ratings. Otherwise, why would Zhu Ke acquire the WB Public Television Network? Enough support. After the first episode of the second season of the talent show was broadcast, many viewers changed channels, but there are still a considerable number of audience groups, but they still stay on the WB TV station. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Jindon Entertainment Group's new variety show is still full of expectations for many people. This is Mr. Zhu Ke Wald. Since they got talent, he has once again served as the chief producer of the show. It is absolutely indispensable. A young audience who admired Zhu firmly said yes, Mr. Wald is a genius. He won't smash his signs, A female laughed. Many viewers have confidence in Zhu Ke, have confidence in the new variety show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Similarly, as the chief producer of the show, Zhu Ke is also full of confidence in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Man, that's millionaire. The question-answer type bully in variety shows. Think about it, when Zhu Ke was in the Great Heavenly Dynasty in his previous life, he did not watch the Happy Dictionary less. Of course, I know that its origin is from the Millionaire program. The ratings are quite high. Oh my god, I suddenly remembered that cheating contract again. Zhu Ke frowned at a new variety show. Millionaire is not original by Zhu Ke, but the North American copyright and production rights purchased from the British ITV Broadcasting Company in April last year. www.wooksiaspit.com and paid for it. It's not a small price. 1. A one-time payment of £6 million. 2. The authorization period is 5 years, and 15% of the net profit of each season's broadcast income shall be transferred to the British ITV Broadcasting Company. As for other clauses, such as liquidated damages, supplementary explanations and other legal clauses, there are as many as 30,000 words. Zhu Ke scolded ITV's Black Heart more than once. Don't think that Zhu Ke only paid £6 million to get the North American copyright of Millionaire. It seems that it is not as good as the £20 million copyright purchase price of Britain's Got Talent that Zhu Ke sold to ITV, but ITV company is treacherous. They also have a minimum of £500 of license for each season of the North American Millionaire. After 5 years, according to the broadcast time of one season of the year, they will receive an additional £25 million from Zucker Capital adds up to £31 million. Moreover, this is the lowest price. Others don't know the profitability of Millionaire. As a traverser, Zhu Ke knows a lot. Just after Zhu Ke's complaints, the program Who Wants to Be a Millionaire officially appeared. The first update of his sent. Chapter 192, 0 Millionaire, IN number 039, I'm sure to go. Who Wants to Become a Millionaire is a puzzle-answer type entertainment show, not a talent show like the talent show. Therefore, there is no need for celebrities to act as the host. Ledivan Dadiba, an African-American, is the pillar of Up TV network host. After WB was acquired, he was transferred to WB-TV network as the host. He is mature and stable, and he has no lack of cold humor. The stage control ability is very good, but he is a bit of an idiot. Of course, Mother of Pearl is nothing in the United States, even if gay culture is not popular after 2010. Nowadays, many people dare to publicly announce their coming out. Dear audience friends, hello everyone, I am the host of the show you are most familiar with, Ledivan Dadiba. Well, even if many of you don't know me, it doesn't matter, but I believe that from today, from the Millionaire show from the beginning, you will know me. The voice fell, and many viewers now laugh to the humorous and self-defeating host. The audience will report tolerance. Millionaire is a live-action program. As long as the contestant can answer 15 questions correctly, he will win a cash prize of $1 million. Guys, you heard me right. Answer 15 questions correctly, and the $1 million cash prize is yours. For each question, the contestant will have 15 seconds to consider. Choose the correct answer from the 4 options, then you can qualify and compete for huge prizes. At the same time, when a contestant encounters a problem, they can use 3 privileges to help answer the question. They are 50 hours, and 50 minutes, excluding the 2 wrong options, call off-site for help, and ask the audience. After reading the general rules of the program, both the live audience and the audience in front of the TV showed a look of interest. Wow, real or fake? If you answer 15 questions correctly, you can get $1 million? Then I, a history professor, won't it be a sure win? See if the topic is difficult. If it is not difficult, I can also participate. After all, you can get money as long as you answer the questions, and you will get $1 million for all the correct answers. Anyone will be interested, even for a major economic country like the United States that got rich first. In 1998, the purchasing power of $1 million was quite strong. It is no exaggeration to say that $1 million can change the destiny of a person's life. Knowledge changes destiny. Use knowledge to create wealth. This is also the slogan of the Millionaire program. Not long the first contestant appeared. Hello sir, please introduce yourself. The host Ledivan Dadiba stood up from the center of the stage and said, hello everyone, I am Collins Orwell. I am 30 years old, from San Francisco. I am currently an accountant in a construction company. The contestant is a fat man weighing more than 200 kilograms, and he is also a professional. After introduced himself, the audience immediately responded with applause and encouragement. The answer to the question officially begins. Question 1. Which of the following four lakes is not one of the Great Lakes in the United States? A. Lake Huron. B. Lake Ontario. C. Lake Champlain. D. Lake Superior. Mr. Orwell, you have 15 seconds to answer the question, which one is not one of the Great Lakes of America? The host solemnly said. The voice fell, and many off-site spectators and on-site spectators were stunned. This is too simple. A female audience couldn't help but curl her lips. Yes, when I was in the second grade, the geography teacher taught us, so far I still remember it. This is totally giving points. Another surprised, however, the first contestant, Collins Orwell, the professional elite, has no suspense. You got a wrong answer, suddenly dropped the jaws of many people. Fuck, how can he answer such a simple question wrong? He actually chose B, Lake Ontario. Did the geography teacher tell him that Lake Champlain is the sixth largest freshwater lake in the United States, not one of the Great Lakes? Many viewers were speechless. Even if you don't know that the sixth largest freshwater lake is Lake Champlain, you still know the 5 Great Lakes. The elimination method can be done. Many people shook their heads violently, and the idea of "I'm sure to do it" came up. In the following time, several contestants stepped onto the stage to answer questions. However, no one answered all 15 questions. Most of them fell down after answering 6-7 questions. Of course, the one who completed the most questions answered 14 questions correctly, but unfortunately fell on the last one. On the topic, the last question the player faced was, "May I ask who is the champion of the first season of the American Got Talent?" He answered wrong. "Man, are you an alien? Or, don't you usually watch TV? What a popular show of talent show?" He hasn't watched it. This makes many viewers in front of the TV jump their feet with anger. The questions in the question bank of the Millionaire Program group are all very simple, of course. This is also because most of the old and beautiful rough guys and illiterate people, so there is no problem that is too difficult to deliberately make difficult for the players. However, the scope of the topic is very wide, covers sports, geography, history, technology, humanities, classics, and many other questions. The question of Millionaire does not test your ability, but tests your knowledge. Therefore, some extremely simple and trivial problems often stump the players. These will create an illusion for all the audience. I am sure it will work. The first episode of Millionaire, unfortunately, there was no contestant who successfully won the $1 million cash prize. However, the show was on fire. Before the broadcast was over, there were as many as 100,000 comments on the official website, and the online registration channel was directly blocked, which shows the popularity. The next day, when Zhu Ke came to the WBTV network, he received a ratings report of Millionaire as soon as possible. Average ratings 2.5%, peak ratings 3.2%, although the average ratings of 2.5% are not as good as the average ratings of 7.23% in the first issue of the second season of the Got Talent. If you see the ratings growth curve of Millionaire, it will definitely scare you a lot. Jump! It is a new variety show after all. When just started broadcasting, its ratings were only 1.05%, but as the program aired, the ratings immediately showed a soaring trend. The magnitude of the soaring trend www.wooksyaspit.com is even more fierce than the first season of the talent show. In the original time and space history, Disney's ABC TV station, which has obtained the North American production rights, even declared, Millionaire is the most profitable variety show in ABC's history, creating a profit of $1 billion in 3 years. Looking at the ratings report in his hand, Zhu Ke had already expected it, and he was not calm at the moment. "Boss, we have made a lot of money." According to the current situation, the Millionaire program, after a few episodes of the program, has a rating of over 5%, which is just around the corner. Alexander exclaimed. Zhu Ke nodded immediately. Although the ratings of Millionaire are not as good as those of the Got Talent, the profitability is definitely not bad, because it can broadcast 3 to 5 episodes a week, and it is broadcast throughout the year, and advertising fees will definitely be received. Soft hands. The second update of is sent. Thank you, Huanayuan and Qilingzhigufang for their rewards. Chapter 193, Weakness, TV Series. Golden Shuguang Entertainment Group Chairman Zhu Ke, CEO Victor, Group Senior Vice President Donald Langley, Chairman Assistant Alexander and others attended the meeting. Together the decision was made at the meeting, the establishment of the Golden Dawn TV Group to fully control the 2 TV stations of the UP Cable Television Network and the WB Public Television Network. Group Senior Vice President Donald Langley will serve as CEO of Golden Dawn TV Group from now on, responsible for the overall operation of the TV group and the 2 TV networks at the same time. Two senior executives of UP TV Network are the presidents of UPN and WB TV Network respectively as 4. Why not let the original executives of the WB TV Network serve as WB presidents? It is not just Zhu Ke and others who repeatedly measured the results afterwards. The original management of WB Television Network, after Zhu Ke acquired WB Television Network, basically resigned on their own initiative and joined the television stations of Time Warner and Columbia again. In other words, no one is available. WB TV Network can only draw manpower from UP TV Network when no one is available. Rondo William Deba, you are also a senior practitioner in the TV industry. I will give you 1 year. Can you adjust the overall operation of the WB TV network? Zhu Ke said in a deep voice. Boss, I will try my best. Rondo William Deba, a middle-aged black man, has been in the television industry for many years before Zhu Ke acquired the UP TV network. Due to his skin color, he could only hold an idle position on the UP TV network, as the deputy to the head of the logistics department. However, after Ms. Donna became the president, she made great efforts to reform and make things new, and he was able to get ahead after serving as the director of the news channel. He showed very dazzling results. Several hot reports have really made UP TV Network show off his ability as very good man. I don't want my best effort, Zhu Ke solemnly said. Hearing the words, Rondo William Deba immediately shocked. Boss, I must complete the task. Zhu Ke smiled and nodded. I feel more relieved when you say that. Hey, it's not that I said you are good at everything, just too humble and inferior. I believe that as long as you are willing to do it, you will be able to make achievements. Rondo William Deba gave Zhu Ke a grateful look. Although many people will ridicule black life in the future, in the workplace, the situation of black brother is really the same. Of course, this also involves the level of education. However, it is undeniable that you can hardly see brother black in the top of a company. Zhu Ke is not a racist, but an exquisite egoist. As long as you can bring benefits, then I must squeeze. Oh no, I must use you heavily. The new president of UP Television Network, Zhu Ke also appointed a senior practitioner Khalid Cyprans, when Ms. Donna was the new president of UPN. Khalid Cyprans was the leader of the opposition and often dismissed Donna. The two were full of grievances. But after Donna was promoted to the president of the TV group, Zhu Ke unexpectedly promoted Khalid Cyprans. Khalid, you still have to cooperate a lot with Ms. Donna in the future to develop our UP TV network better, Zhu Ke said with a smile. We must live up to our trust. Khalid Cyprans answered very simply and neatly, and inadvertently glanced at Donna Langley with a provocative look. Huh? Donna Langley looked at him coldly. Zhu Ke saw it, but Zhu Ke said nothing. Balance. A company is a small dynasty, and internal struggle is indispensable. As the chairman of the board, Zhu Ke must not eliminate internal struggles, but control the balance and limit the struggles within a reasonable range. To put it ugly, if the company is all in harmony, then what do you want the chairman of Zhu Ke to do? Once it is emptied, then the enterprise is not far away from being seized by others and going bankrupt. Fight, no matter if you really have conflicts, or show it to me, but I just want to convey a message. I am the owner of the company. Do not overestimate the ethics of a professional manager. Even Victor, whose Zhu Ke trusts most, Zhu Ke has prepared a variety of preventive measures. I am willing to use a vicious eye to try to figure out people's hearts. And I don't want to be at a loss when being betrayed by others. In the next time Zhu Ke and others discussed the future development direction of the TV group for several hours. UP TV Network has two popular animated series, SpongeBob SquarePants and Peppa Pig, with a large number of subscribers. WB TV Network has popular variety shows such as Got Talent Show, Millionaire, WWE Wrestling Entertainment. In the recent past, the two TV stations under Zhu Ke have dominated the arena in the fields of animation and variety shows, and have achieved outstanding performance one after another. Even the majority of media and newspapers have called Zhu Ke the little TV emperor. However, is everything really okay? Do not. Definitely not. Whether it is a variety show or an animated series, although it can make the Golden Dawn TV group become a hot spot, it has a time period. Outside of their broadcast time period, UPN and WB are two television stations, the same as ABC, NBC, and CBS, Fox, HBO, Paramount Online and other TV giants are completely incomparable. In terms of overall strength, it can be described as a huge difference, especially in the field of TV dramas. So far the Golden Dawn Group has not been able to launch a big hit TV series, the explosion of two animations and two variety shows. In fact, major TV stations have begun to target us. In the near future, we must expand the TV drama production department and recruit excellent film and television drama production talents. Otherwise we will definitely not be able to avoid the encirclement and suppression of several major TV giants. Only peers are naked hatred. The competition among the major TV stations is sailing against a current. If you do not advance, you will retreat. If the Golden Dawn TV group wants to truly occupy a place in the American TV field, it must devote 120% of its energy to fight and grab, otherwise it will only be slowly consumed. www.wooksyaspit.com. Then after the conference is over, I started looking for excellent TV scripts. Ms. Donna said immediately, yes, I will do my best in this area. WB Television Network and UP Television Network, 2 television stations. The newly appointed President Gu Shi made a vow to express his stance. No need to. Zhu shook his head decisively and said, leave me the TV script and I will finish it myself. Everyone was taken aback. It took quite a few seconds before they realized, isn't their boss a very good screenwriter? Zhu, cheater, opener, Wald classmate, is online again. The first update of his sent. Chapter 194. 4 U.S. dramas released. Zhu Ke's decision to write the script for the TV drama himself is definitely not aimless. Looking at the American TV drama market, it is an important industrial chain that is not inferior to the Hollywood film market in terms of scale, output value, and even influence. There are tens of millions of American dramas, but not many classic high-scoring dramas, or it's minimal. It is very difficult to expect excellent TV scripts to be included in the blacklist from the hands of external screenwriters. Because Golden Dawn Entertainment Group, in terms of strength, simply cannot compete with TV giants such as ABC and NBC. Why can you expect others to sell you excellent scripts? Are you God? There is no shortage of buyers for excellent scripts. TV giants such as ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, etc. Let's not say much. Those are countless excellent screenwriters who personally go to the goal and submit their scripts to them. As for other second-tier TV stations, there are also people responsible for the collection of excellent scripts at all times. Basically, as soon as a good script emerges, it will be snatched away. What would Zhu do with them? Hit your head. Moreover, considering time, it is not allowed now. Therefore, Zhu Ke can only get on the horse in person. I have seen a lot of American dramas in my last life, but it is also very difficult to implement them on paper. TV dramas are different from movies. They are dozens of episodes, and they are basically just a few seasons or even more than a dozen seasons long. The film, even if I hollowed out my head, it is difficult to completely restore it. However, fortunately I am not a mere screenwriter, I'm the boss of the film company. There are dozens of excellent screenwriters in the company. I only need to provide a summary of the story, and basic character settings, grasp the main storyline, and let the screenwriter supplement the fallen leaves on the side, supplement the action, dialogue and other related plots. Finally, I will definitely review it myself. TV script under consideration. The first principle, of course, is high quality and low price. Just when Zhu Ke retreats to write the script, the outside world can be said to be noisy. The second season of Got Talent show is as exciting as the first season, but it completely surpasses the first season in terms of sensationalism. The performance of the talents and geeks directly ignited the audience enthusiasm. Carnival, one by one American families, after dinner, at work, in school, and other places, repeatedly discussed the outstanding talents of XX and determined that XX could become the championship of this season. Of course, the latest variety show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, has also been welcomed by countless people. Knowledge changes fate, wisdom creates wealth. This is a stage regardless of age, skin color, work, or family. As long as you dare to challenge, you can win the $1 million prize through your own knowledge. Although there are many rough and illiterate old Americans, this does not prevent them from chasing knowledge, let alone gaining wealth. During the trial broadcast of Millionaire, a one-day broadcast mode was adopted, which really made many people hooked. The ratings, market share, and social discussion are rising. Countless advertisers, manufacturers, and well-known companies have swarmed. Coca-Cola representative, we have asked for Coca-Cola as the title sponsor, and we don't hesitate to pay for it. Pepsi representative, we are not short of money. No matter how much Coca-Cola bids, we will always pay the price. General Motors representative, Ms. Donna, we are old friends. In the Go Talent project, our GM group has a good cooperation with your company. This time Millionaire, we can't leave old friends. No matter, there are hundreds of companies in the United States, large and small, who want to win the title dealer and advertising space of the program. It can be said that they have their own magical powers. The price offered is very attractive. Not only that, even large companies in Europe, South America, Asia and other places that are aspiring to expand into the American market have also spared no expense to get an advertising space. A few days later, on behalf of the Millionaire Program Group, Ms. Tang Na, with the approval of the parent company CEO Victor, has finalized advertising contracts with 17 companies, with a total price of $58 million. Remember, the $58 million contract is not a one-year contract. Zhu Ke learned from the original time and space of millionaire North American production company Disney's hard work, and does not plan to broadcast every year. Nor does he plan to broadcast 3 to 5 episodes a week. Frequent broadcasting will only make the audience bored and lose their freshness in the original time and space. The Millionaire, produced by Disney and broadcast by ABC TV, did not consider these. In order to pursue the ratings, the pursuit of profit and the increase in market value, they simply squeezed Millionaire to the extreme. Broadcast throughout the year. 3-5 programs are broadcast every week. The duration of each period has increased from 1 hour to 2 hours, or even 4 hours. Frequent production and broadcasting, resulting in the question bank question and answer, is also lackluster. Nothing new. Various bad practices in farming made the trump card show Millionaire only broadcast for just 3 years before it was stopped. It's not advisable to fish for exhaustion. Therefore, Zhu Ke's Millionaire program also adopted a quarterly broadcast. Each season lasts for 3 months. Broadcast 2 programs a week. It is broadcast 2 seasons every year. A benign broadcasting method will inevitably make the audience lose their freshness in the later stage, but the lifespan will be greatly extended. At least a 5-year production permission that Golden Dawn Entertainment Group obtained from ITV Broadcasting Company is completely enough. Of course, in the last year of authorization, Zhu Ke didn't mind playing it all year round, completely squeezing the value of Millionaire. The advertising fee of $58 million in a season is really not low, and, at the end of the second half of the year, advertising fees will be charged again in the second quarter. In terms of income, it will never be less than $58 million. After the media heard the news, they were not calm at all. The TV industry is even more angry, embarrassed, and jealous. ITV Broadcasting Corporation, the copyright owner of Millionaire, regrets the low asking price. Of course, reading www.uucan'tchoo.com has been disturbed by the outside world, and Zhu Ke can't be disturbed at this moment. Zhu Ke is still in retreat, working hard. June 15, Zhu Ke, who took half a month, finally left the customs, and took the scripts of 4 American dramas and set off for the Golden Dawn TV Group, The Big Bang Theory, Bankrupt Sisters, The Walking Dead, Prison Break. Boss, follow your instructions. The 50 screenwriters collected from Wald Pictures, 35 screenwriters from the WB Television Network and the UP Television Network itself are all here, and they are currently waiting for you in conference room 1. Assistant Alexander said. Zhu Ke nodded, and he went straight to the number 1 conference room, which can accommodate 200 people, under the protection of a dozen security teams. The second update of his sent, thanks to the book Friends of Qiling Jegu Fen for another reward. Chapter 185, American TV series start hot. Boss, Mr. Wald. As soon as Zhu Ke entered the conference room number 1, the 110 people sitting there, no matter their status, no matter how much seniority in the screenwriting industry, got up. Among private enterprises, Zhu Ke is just like a native emperor, and how dare they pierce Zhu's job? Sit all, don't stand, please sit down, everyone. Zhu Ke greeted everyone with a smile regardless of Zhu Ke's true face. Sometimes he always has to look like he is close to the people. Boss, let me introduce to you. Alexander led 4 people over 40 years old, 3 men and 1 woman, walked up to Zhu Ke and said loudly, Boss, these 4 are all professors from Stanford University. They are Dr. Xing Gentili, Dr. N, Dr. Vivian, Dr. Hortaski. Among them, Dr. Xing and Dr. Turlian are professors of physics at Stanford University, majoring in quantum physics. Dr. Vivian and Dr. Hortaski are professors of law at Stanford University, majoring in psychological criminology and behavioral criminology. I am Zhu Ke Wald. I am glad to meet the 4 of them. Zhu Ke shook hands with them enthusiastically. Zhu Ke said again, time is tight now, how about we talk about it later? No problem. The 4 doctors nodded. The reason why the 4 doctors were invited to come is because 2 of the 4 scripts planned by Zhu Ke must use the professional knowledge, which is precisely what Zhu Ke is extremely lacking. The Big Bang Theory is a comedy, that's right. However, The two male protagonists in the play are all scientific geeks with superior IQs and are crazy about quantum physics, which involves a lot of expertise in quantum physics without the assistance of professional talents. Zhu will take the lead in writing. The same goes for Prison Break. It is a crime-themed TV series, which requires a certain amount of legal knowledge to construct the skeleton of the script, not speculation, otherwise the fragments presented will be full of loopholes. Meeting. With Zhu Ke's order, the scene fails silent. The video is on, text logging is on. Yes, video and transcripts are indispensable procedures for meetings, otherwise once a copyright dispute occurs, you will not be able to win a lawsuit. Everyone. Have you seen the 4 scripts in front of you? The Big Bang Theory, The Bankrupt Sisters, The Walking Dead, Prison Break. That's right, the next major American dramas of our Golden Dawn TV group are these 4 series. Among them, 2 episodes of The Big Bang Theory and Broken Sisters will be broadcast on WB Public Television. The 2 episodes of The Walking Dead and Prison Break will be broadcast on Unlimited TV, specially prepared for subscribers. Hearing this, everyone present nodded and expressed their understanding except for the 4 PhDs. The 110 people present are all talents in the screenwriting industry. The ability to scan scripts at a glance is an indispensable skill for them. In just 10 minutes, they have already understood the probabilities. The 2 episodes of The Big Bang Theory and Broken Sisters are both small-cost comedies, which are very suitable for a family to watch at the dinner table. Trivial, neighborhood trivial matters, and parents' shortcomings, don't they just suit their tastes? Overall, the cost is low and easy to shoot. But, the 2 series, The Walking Dead and Prison Break, are completely different. Both of them have very high requirements for the scenes. Only the scene layout of each episode requires a lot of manpower and material resources, which is definitely a large investment. This is completely different from the current mainstream American TV series, which presents a completely different cost in the 21st century. The introduction of American dramas from all over the world gives the impression that they are well-produced and high-quality pictures. The excitement of each season is just like a movie, and the requirements are very high. However, that is in the 21st century. In the American drama market in the late 1990s, many TV dramas had low requirements and low production costs. Most of them were similar to dramas like The Troubles of Growing Up and Friends. Except for the high pay of the actors, the production cost of each episode was not high. Probably only $100,000. The high cost, well-made American drama was launched by the miniseries Brothers, jointly created by DreamWorks and HBO TV, and now, Zhu wants to be the first to eat crabs? Use high-quality, high-cost The Walking Dead and Prison Break to open a new market for American TV dramas, especially for Prison Break. The production cost of each episode given by Zhu Ke is a full $800,000, which is several times higher than the current mainstream TV series' cost of $100,000 to $200,000 per episode. When the 22 episodes of the first season are filmed, the cost will be as high as $18 million, which is much higher than the cost of many Hollywood companies' movies converted into RMB. That's hundreds of millions. Looking at the current mainstream market, who would dare to spend so much money to play? No, not even one. Hiss. Suddenly, everyone present, Gushi took a breath of air. They can see Zhu Ke's ambition, and at the same time, they only feel passionate. Regardless of the future outcome, they are proud to be able to participate in such a cross-generation drama. The era of high cost of American dramas will be started by Zhu Ke. In fact, Zhu Ke first thought about starting the game and came to the king to explode, House of Cards and Game of Thrones. If these 2 dramas are moved out now, it will definitely be a dungeon-seeking defeat, sweeping all demons, evil spirits. However, Zhu can't do it. The TV series House of Cards, produced by Netflix in 2010, was derived from the political theme of the British writer House of Cards of the same name. However, as early as the 1990s, the British BBC Broadcasting Corporation had obtained the copyright and produced and filmed related mini-TV series. Rave reviews. Zhu Ke sold the copyright to the ITV Broadcasting Company on the issue of The Got Talent. It can be said that he completely fell out with the BBC. Zhu Ke sent someone to ask about the copyright of House of Cards, but they rejected it directly in a short time. Zhu Ke didn't even want to obtain the copyright from the BBC. Game of Thrones is even more troublesome. Game of Thrones author George Raymond Richard Martin. This old guy is not short of money, and very savvy. Zhu Ke sent someone to ask about copyright matters, but was directly rejected. Man, my Song of Ice and Fire has only been published in 1 volume. Why can't you wait? So you can imagine how good my work is. You want my film and television rights, So don't think about it now. Well, I have to wait a few years at least. And wait for my A Song of Ice and Fire to release a few more volumes. Besides, I don't need money. Well, this is the original words of George Raymond Richard Martin. He has many works. Even without A Song of Ice and Fire, he is also a billionaire with a wealth of billions. www.wooksiaspit.com note, Game of Thrones, also known as The Song of Ice and Fire. What can Zhu do if George Raymond Richard Martin refuses? I can only wait. However, for the moment, Zhu's selection of The Big Bang Theory, Broken Sisters, The Walking Dead, and Prison Break are already good, and they can be called two kings with 4-2. The Walking Dead was the first comic in the original time and space, but it was only adapted to a TV series. Now that the comics have not yet come out, I can completely launch the comics. Well, isn't it wonderful to have the title of a manga master? In the following time, Zhu Ke made specific requirements for the 110 screenwriters present, requiring them to complete the first draft within 1 month. It is imperative to launch 4 American dramas. The first update is sent. Chapter 186, My Grand Greek Wedding starts casting. June 19th, the film Memories, directed by Christopher Nolan and screenplayed by Jonathan Nolan, with Zucker as the producer, officially premiered in North America. The movies released at the same time this Friday include Mulan, produced by Disney, X-Files, Conquer, produced by 20th Century Fox, and 3 low-cost movies produced by 3 Hollywood third-line film companies. In other words, on June 19th, including Memories, a full 6 new films were released. In addition, many popular films such as The World of Truman, which began to be released on June 5th, and 6 Days and 7 Nights, which began to be released on June 12th, maintained a strong position this week, occupying a large number of films, for various reasons. Fragmented Memory could not achieve a high rate of filming. There is no doubt that Memories will face challenges every weekend. The day of the premiere, Zhu put aside his work and accompanied Adriana Lima, who had just returned from Europe, to watch the movie Memories in the theater. Okay, it's the 4th time that Zhu has watched the film, and he almost vomits. No matter what Lima wants to see, Zhu Kebater once in a rare way. Wow, my lord, Zhu, where did you find the director? He is really amazing. The shooting technique of imaginary and reality intersects with yin and yang, but not everyone can shoot well. During the viewing process, Lima praised director Nolan's skill more than once. In fact, it is not just Lima. The audience in the theater also exclaimed many times before and after the movie. Director Nolan puts the fragmented fragments together through the shooting method of the intersection of reality and reality, and the two sides of yin and yang, which are well connected together to present a very brain-burning movie to everyone. For those viewers who like brain-burning themes, Memories is undoubtedly a Michelin meal. The movie watching is over. Zhu and Lima wandered in downtown Los Angeles. The appearance of handsome men and beautiful women naturally attracted the prying eyes of some people. Hey, both of you, excuse me. I'm a scout for JY Model Agency. I don't know if you two have the idea of working in the modeling industry. A 30-year-old man suddenly appeared not far from Zhu Ke and stride forward. However, before he could get the answer, he was quickly pulled aside by 2 security personnel hiding in the crowd. Hey, who are you? What are you going to do to me? The scout suddenly yelled in panic. Whoever is caught by the 2 cold-faced big men in black who suddenly rushed out and dragged them aside. His mother will not calm down. Honestly, say, who are you and what are you going to do? One of the men said coldly, icy tone, silent face. Another person also made the action of pulling out his gun at any time. The scout was terrified. MMP. At this moment, not only the 2 big men in black, but also several security personnel hiding in the crowd around Zhu Ke are also dispatched together to be alert to the surrounding environment. Tourists who go shopping are not calm at once. What did you do? Make a movie, idiot. Don't you know that super billionaire Mr. Zhu Ke Wald? Oh? Is he Zhu Ke Wald, the master planner of the Go Talent show? Some of the people in the crowd recognized Zhu Ke and quickly explained it to the people around him. Not long after, everyone on the scene knew Zhu Ke's origins. Suddenly, there was a commotion in the crowd. No way, Zhu Ke is so famous now, living in the United States. You may not know who the most popular movie stars are in the near future, but you definitely know who the rich people are. Recently, Zhu Ke has made headlines several times recently. How can the popularity go down? Hey, shopping is crazy. Zhu Ke smiled wryly. It doesn't matter. Then let's go back first, Lima said with understanding. Well, this time shopping, Zhu Ke did not realize the fun of shopping at all. After all, he was surrounded by 12 security personnel with live ammunition. Free America, shoot out every day. Zhu Ke is very afraid of death if you don't bring your bodyguards. You will be taken away by a shot by an ignorant thief. Think about that screen. According to reports, Mr. Zhu Ke Wald, a well-known billionaire, was shot and killed on the streets of Los Angeles this afternoon. Damn it, once such a thing happens, then how wrong Zhu will be. Therefore, Zhu Ke's plan for himself is very clear. As long as he is away from home, no matter what the situation, he must have sufficient security personnel around him. The next day around 9 o'clock in the morning, Chief Assistant Alexander sent the first day box office data of Memories to Zhu's mailbox. The animated film Mulan, produced by Disney, with a box office score of $22.74 million on the day of its premiere, was crowned the single-day box office champion on Friday in North America. The film X-Files, Conquer, produced by Fox in the 20th century. The first daily newspaper, received $18 million, ranking second, and Shards of Memory, produced and released by Wald Pictures, with a 9th ranking rate of the day, achieved a good score of 6th in the North American box office rankings of that day, and reported a box office result of $5.2 million. Zhu, this box office is not high, Lima said suddenly. Zhu shook his head and smiled. Lima, the production cost of Memories is only $5 million, and the box office result of $5.2 million on the day of the premiere is really remarkable. Understood, Lima nodded. The first day of Memories reported a box office score of $5.2 million, which in fact has exceeded the previous expectations of Zhu Ke and others. Zhu does not deny that Shards of Memory is excellent. It is a masterpiece of the brain-burning genre, but brain-burning movies were originally niche themes among mainstream genres. In addition, the schedule rate of the day was not high, and there were many popular movies released at the same time. Now it is really amazing to get such a box office. According to the simulated data, Zhu Ke has confidence in Memories. I believe that with Wald Pictures' current advertising capabilities, the North American box office data it has obtained will surely exceed the box office of $40 million in the original time and space. Zhu Ke, as the producer, has 2.2% of the film's North American box office dividend. Still the same sentence: a company is a company, and an individual is an individual. Every script written by Zhu www.wuxiaspit.com as a producer. Every movie produced by him has personal remuneration. It is like The Big Bang Theory, and The Big Bang Theory planned by Zhu not long ago. The Walking Dead 4 American TV series, Jinshu Guang TV Group, also has to give Zhu Ke personal remuneration. 10 o'clock in the morning of the same day Zhu appeared at Wald Pictures. Today is the day of the casting of My Great Greek Wedding. Zhu did not act as the producer of this film, but he acted as the casting director of the film. After all, it has a production cost of less than $5 million, but it has created a global box office of $369 million in one fell swoop, and broke the box office record of North American romantic comedies. Such an amazing rate of return. Of course Zhu cannot ignore it. Even, it can be said that it is very important. The second update of is sent thanks to the book Friends of Qiling Jegu Feng and number 5152 for their rewards. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 197, Jackie, why are you here again? My Grand Greek Wedding, because it is a small-cost comedy, cannot attract big-name actors to join. Therefore, in the selection of the main actors of the film, Wald Pictures did not adopt a large-scale public audition like Spartan 300 Warriors, but adopted a small-scale invitation audition. The first actor audition, however, Zhu was speechless when he saw the incoming person clearly. Jacqueline, how did you come? Zhu Ke said silently. Mr. Wald, I heard that the company is about to start a new movie, so I asked Mr. Fitch to give me an audition opportunity, Jacqueline said shyly. Hearing this, Zhu Ke immediately looked at Kevin Fitch, who was wandering beyond the sky. What happened, boss? Kevin Fitch revealed a trace of doubt. What is your pretense? For Jack Phoenix, Zhu really appreciates him. He is a very hard-working actor. Fatal Bend, Human Removal Project, Memories, I don't know. After counting, Jack Phoenix has already co-produced 3 movies with Wald Pictures, either the male lead or the male second. Now choose My Grand Greek Wedding. He unexpectedly appeared again. Nima, he is about to become the queen actor of Wald Pictures. In this case, it is better than Zioli and director Martin Scorsese. Are you going to hang yourself at Wald Pictures? Zhu Ke couldn't help thinking not only Zhu thinks so, but also many employees of Wald Pictures. When they saw Jack appearing again in the trial lens field today, they looked weird one by one. In fact, Zhuke's guess was right, and that's what Jack went and planned. Jack Phoenix's brother Evan Phoenix, once known as the Hollywood Golden Boy, is a leader among the younger generation of male actors, with extraordinary acting skills. However, Rui Fan not only abused alcohol and drugs all the year round, but was also very open-minded and unobtrusive. In front of media reporters, he repeatedly yelled the XX producer for being shameless and yelled at the company for acting domineering. There is no doubt that Rui Fan has offended many people. Now, Rufin Phoenix is dead, but the remaining problems are passed on to his brother Jack, causing him to only play a small role at one time, or even a trick. It wasn't until Zhu Ke appeared that Jack was able to play the leading role. Fatal Turn made him an instant hit, but even so, many Hollywood studios don't want to see Jack Phoenix. They always think Jack will be like his brother Rufin, a troublesome and open-mouthed guy, so they won't give him a chance. Of course, with the hot screenings of the two films Human Elimination Project and Memories, Jack has completely turned over. Jack, the major film companies didn't know you before, so they didn't wait to see you, but now it should be fine. I read your news in the newspaper 2 days ago, and many film companies invited you be the leading actor. Zhu Ke said yes it is. Jackie Kun said, I did have 2 companies invited me to star in, but I learned that the company is starting a new film, so I turned them down. Actually, Jack thinks Wald Pictures has a future. Zhuke suddenly became dumb. Zhu Ke at the moment does not know what to say. My Grand Greek Wedding movie, in which Nia Vadalis, who plays the heroine, is 36 years old and can be said to be an older young woman. But what about Jackie? He is only 24 years old this year. The age difference between the hero and the heroine is exactly 12 years old. This movie is not a sibling movie. Once Jackie Kun is the leading actor, this romantic comedy movie will be full of disharmony. Boss, you can make up. I believe that Jack acting skills can completely play an image of a 30-something, nearly 40-year-old. Kevin Fitch interjected suddenly. Zhu glanced at Kevin Fitch with an angry look, then at Jackie Quinn with an expectant look. Well, I'll give you a chance to participate in the audition, Zhu Ke said sternly. Thank you, Mr. Wald. Thank you, Mr. Fitch. Jackie quickly thanked. Don't rush to thank you. Zhuke waved a big hand and said in a deep voice, after all, the male protagonist is the image of an older youth. If you do not meet my requirements, then even if we have cooperated many times, don't blame me for eliminating you, okay, Mr. Wald? The 20-minute side class is over. Zhuke used shocked eyes almost all the way. After watching Jack's performance, his performance exceeded Zhu Ke's previous expectations. Boss, what are you waiting for? Kevin Fitch on the side urged. Isn't Jackie's performance good enough? No. It's not a problem anymore. His performance perfectly fits the image of the male protagonist. I even feel that My Grand Greek Wedding, the male protagonist in, was born for him. Zhuke also nodded. Sometimes, some actors are able to perform cross-age performances and perform extremely well. Zhuke shook his head. No hurry, let's see the auditions of the other 2 candidates first. John Colbert, the actor of My Grand Greek Wedding in the original time and space. Zhuke also invited him to audition this time. After seeing John Colbert, Zhuke couldn't help but feel some liver pain. Why? Because Zhu Ke thought of the TV series Sex and the City. This American drama that once created a miracle in ratings. John Colbert will play an important supporting actor in the American drama Sex and the City. More than 10 days ago, when Zhu Ke decided to prepare a TV series, he first thought of filming the American drama Sex and the City, so he contacted the script owner, but was rejected. Have to add money, do not. The script owner of Sex and the City looks down on the Golden Dawn TV group and would rather sell it to HBO at a low price than to Zhu Ke. I don't look down on those who have achieved fame at a young age. Zhu Ke Wald is a lucky guy. I will never sell you the script, even if it is thrown into the trash can. Well, the brain circuits of this kind of people are indeed very different from ordinary people. Zhuke has nothing to do. In the following time, Zhuke watched John Colbert's performance throughout him. That's great. However, compared with the performance of Jack Phoenix, it feels like chewing wax. Boss, what are you thinking about? Compared with the performances of 2 people, Jackie Kun is undoubtedly better. Kevin Fitch is a little confused. He doesn't know what Zhuke thinks at the moment. In fact, Zhu Ke's thoughts are very simple. Using the actor configuration in the original time and space will definitely ensure the success of My Grand Greek Wedding to the greatest extent. Once the actor is changed, uncontrollable situations will occur even if Jack's performance is better than John Colbert. www.wooksiaspit.com. However, It didn't take long for Zhu to decide to give the leading actor in My Grand Greek Wedding to Jacques Phoenix schedule conflict. John Colbert signed an actor contract with HBO TV Sex and the City 2 days ago. The schedule conflict prevented him from acting at the same time in this case. Of course, Zhu chose Jacques without hesitation. The next work of My Grand Greek Wedding will be completely handed over to Kevin Fitch, and Zhu got up and went to the shooting base of Paramount Pictures' 300 Spartan Warriors. The launch ceremony will be held today, the first update of Ascent. Chapter 198, Red Pants Street Flash. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, New York, 5th Avenue. It is located in Manhattan. As one of the most iconic landmarks in the United States, it has a worldwide reputation as the Statue of Liberty. Every day, tourists from all over the world flock in here. Local Americans also spend money here. Work, shopping. At this time, there was a large white van parked here, has attracted the attention of many people. What, didn't you say that parking is not allowed here? Man, you are right, and a large truck like this is not allowed to enter 5th Avenue at all. Where's the police? No one is in charge. The tourists and people are really curious. Bang! At this moment, all the advertising screens on 5th Avenue were all lit up. Sparta, huh? Spartan. Hundreds of large and small advertising screens, all lit up at the same time, immediately burst out an astonishing shout. The cry of iron and blood is enough to make everyone's adrenal hormones soar. On all the advertising screens, there is a unified picture of the battlefield. This is a pre-shooted battlefield scene by director Zack Snyder before the official filming of 300, showing a Spartan warrior fighting the Persian invasion. Cold weapons, fanatical blood, a roar, war horses, monsters, and warriors have appeared. Wow, my god, what movie is this? What a bloody macho movie. The tourists and people on the 5th Avenue site were suddenly ecstatic. Boom boom boom. At this moment, the back door of the large white van that had attracted people's attention was suddenly opened by violence. Who? Call. A tall, strong, naked upper body man, dressed only in red pants, a red cloak, and armed with weapons, stepped out of the truck. This moment attracted everyone's attention. Not only that, after the burly man headed down, another muscular hunk with the same naked upper body came out of the van again. Sparta, 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 Sparta. A total of 30 muscular men, holding up the spear in their hands, roared loudly in an environment where countless people were onlookers. In conjunction with the soundtrack from hundreds of screens last week, the entire 5th Avenue scene was rendered into a fierce battlefield. Passionate. God, what's the situation? Good guys, 20 hunks in red pants and weapons in hand. They are so strong, none of them is less than 1.8 meters tall. The sound of Spartan really aroused great interest in the surrounding people, but when they were about to find out, 20 Spartan fighters suddenly rushed into the van. The truck drove away. The hunks are gone. Come and go in a hurry. Only left the doubts of the crowd at the scene. Man, what's the situation? What are they doing? Are they promoting men's underwear ads, or are they promoting movies? Why did they shout a few times and leave suddenly? A tourist couldn't help but say Flash. This is Flash. In the late 1990s, where did the American people see this? In an instant, many people present became interested, and wanted to find out what was going on. Los Angeles, Avenue of Stars. One by one, the hunks in red pants suddenly appeared in the sight of many people. Sparta, fight for Sparta, warriors, our sacrifice will always be praised by the world, my glory is loyalty. If we die on the battlefield, we will be the supreme glory. Only Sparta who died in battle, and absolutely no Sparta who bowed down and surrendered to the enemy. Sparta, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. The swollen hunks let out a roar, causing many people on the scene to boil with blood, and then his mother quickly left without leaving any traces. Many people suddenly messed up in the wind, excluding Los Angeles and New York, Boston, Miami, San Francisco, Washington, Chicago and other places also have pop-ups one after another. Red pants, Spartan, macho, flashes quickly. The 4 keywords, the United States, which is well developed in the internet industry and the media industry, have instantly become a hot topic among the people. They are very interested and eager to know everything. In this case, the launch ceremony and press conference of Spartan 300 Warriors directly showed everyone in front of them. Flash, standing on the podium, Zhu Ke said loudly to a group of media reporters, "Yes, we, Wald Pictures. We are promoting the new film, The War Hero 300 Spartan." The film, the voice fell, and hundreds of media on the scene were suddenly stunned. Rao is the one who has seen countless big winds and waves, and has never seen a propaganda similar to the Flash mode. Judging from the popularity on the internet today, They can already predict the 300 will become popular before it is broadcast. This is simply a genius propaganda technique, a reporter exclaimed. The people around him couldn't help but nod in agreement. Flash, it has almost become a bad street propaganda method in the 21st century, but at the end of the 1990s, Zhu Ke can be said to be the first person to eat crabs, which has a natural effect in the original time and space history. Time Warner Group, the production company of Harry Potter, was the first person to eat crabs. They assembled a large group of movie fans, pretending to be little wizards wearing black robes and holding small wooden sticks. They staged flash mobs in New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and all over the United States, attracting all over the world. Countless people watched. There is no doubt that the Flash, which is still in the new stage, is indeed so powerful. Of course, Flash is not something you can do casually. Two places like New York's Fifth Avenue and Los Angeles's Avenue of Stars, if you do not report to the relevant authorities in advance, and do not spend money on the venue, then you will definitely be taken away by the police afterwards. Only Fifth Avenue in New York, the flash of a few minutes cost a crew of $200,000 Flash spending in other parts of the United States, all add up to more than $2 million. The number of manpower used is as high as 900 people. However, the publicity effect presented by the flash mob is absolutely impossible to exchange for $20 million by conventional means. Moreover, the current high level of popular discussion among the people is even more that money may not be able to deal with its Spartan 300 warriors. www.wuxiaspit.com. Before the broadcast, gentlemen and ladies, the Spartan 300 warriors created by Wald Pictures will surely explode the entire United States at this time next year and bring the flames to the world. I said, you heard that right. After the release of Spartan 300 warriors, the three words Spartan will be well known all over the world, and no one will know it. I said, in the War of Hot Springs before 2000, the battle of 300 Spartans against hundreds of thousands of Persian troops will be completely restored by us. Blood, fighting spirit, glory, loyalty, and never surrender will be presented one by one. I said, at this moment, Zhu Ke, where there is still a bit of a billionaire posture, the whole person is transformed into a Spartan warrior, talking and shouting passionately on the podium. The second update of Ascent. Chapter 199, saw the world. The next day, as expected by Zhu Ke, the topic triggered by the flash of the red pants was once again reported by many media and newspapers under the heated discussion of the people, which ignited the curiosity of many people in one fell swoop. The name of 300 Spartan warriors spread like wildfire. Many Hollywood studios can't help but feel sad. Harvey Weinstein, the gold medal promoter of the Oscars and the CEO of Miramax Films, good guys, of Wald Pictures, although it is difficult to make a big difference in the operation of the Oscars, they are in the film announcement. Really amazing. Who said no? Assistant Badier echoed. It cost less than $3 million to achieve a promotional effect of $20 million. This is undoubtedly a genius plan. Hearing this, Harvey Weinstein feels more envy and hatred. Think of him, Harvey Weinstein. Since the establishment of Miramax Films, he has not only grown the company in just a few years, but also obtained the olive branch of the Disney Group and became a member of Disney. At the same time, as a member of Jewish descent, he started crazy operations at the Oscars, runs a movie king, a movie queen, and even the best director and best film as of 1998. His successful films have won 83 Oscar statuettes. He dared to speak now. He is the first person to operate the Oscars, but even if he has so many advantages, he can't say that he can compare with Wald Pictures, Lola Run, Juno, Human Removal Project, Memories, Fatal Corner. Wald Pictures, which frequently produces excellent works, is not an empty shell. Instead, using a high-grossing movie, it was born in Hollywood. Even if in some respects it is not comparable to the best second-tier film companies such as DreamWorks, Touchstone, and New Line, they are among the top 10 second-tier film companies at least, much better than their Miramax. Damn Wald Pictures, Zhu Ke Wald, why doesn't this die? Jealousy drives Harvey Weinstein crazy. Paramount Pictures CEO Ms. Shirley Lansing looked at Jordan in front of her and couldn't help but frown. That is to say, the 5 overseas distribution contracts we signed with Wald Pictures have now all ended, and your distribution department and legal affairs people from the ministry haven't negotiated follow-up cooperation yet. Yes, it is. Jordan took a deep breath. Bang. Shirley Lansing slapped the table outrageously, without a trace of restraint. Her eyes were cold. You stupid guys, what do you eat? You can't do anything about this? You haven't seen a flash event. Did 300 Spartans make a national sensation? The voice fell. Jordan suddenly showed a bitter expression. Boss, the people from our publishing department, and the people from the legal department have all gone to Wald Pictures several times, whether it's the old guy Bill Mitnick or Kevin Feige. Kiddo didn't let go. Especially the old guy Mitnick, who is even more cunning, and our people can't detect their true thoughts at all. Are you and their boss Zhu Ke Wald, aren't they good friends? Would you go to him yourself? Shirley Lansing said again, looking for Zhu Ke and I are good friends. Jordan suddenly looked awkward. Go to hell. He has known Zhu Ke for several years, and it can be said that he is very familiar. But because of his familiarity, he knew Zhu's cunning and acting style. Boss, this fellow Zhu Ke Wald is a master who does not see rabbits and scatter eagles. There is no good thing he will never do. As for the friend you are talking about, Jordan shook his head and smiled. He won't be taboo if he is a friend. As long as it can bring him benefits, they are all his friends. Shirley Lansing was dumb. Things have developed to this point. Even if she is a fool, she knows that Wald Pictures does not intend to continue cooperating with Paramount. Thinking humph, Shirley Lansing snorted coldly. You will go to Wald Pictures in person in the near future, and try again. If you are no longer a friend, then you are an enemy. Wald Pictures. Old Bill, what did your old man think about Vice President Kevin Feige? Asked he. Bill Mitnick, the original 20th Century Fox CEO and current president of Wald Pictures, waved his hand, pretending to be mysterious. Young people, don't worry, huh? You said it is light, can I not rush me? Man, that's Paramount, one of the top 6 in Hollywood. The reason why our Wald Pictures has been able to develop smoothly in Hollywood in the past few years is because of the existence of Paramount, which has blocked a lot of trouble for us, not much else. It is only on the issue of the American Film Association's rating and rating of films. Without Paramount, how could we achieve good rating conditions? A film with an R-level scale, once it is qualitative for R17, how many viewers and box office will we lose? Kevin Feige expressed his concerns for many Hollywood studios. Once there is no strong presence behind them, they will definitely die very quickly. Well, the kind without suspense. Kevin Feige didn't want Wald Pictures to be collapsed by Hollywood's Big Six, so he agreed to continue working with Paramount. Young man, you are looking for the skin of a tiger, Bill Mitnick sternly said. You have to know a little bit. Why does Paramount cooperate with us? That's because we are strong enough. Paramount Film and Television-based Spartan 300 Warriors film crew. At this moment, director Zack Snyder has just finished a set of shots, and the scene immediately adjusts the scene. Mr. Wald, you have to be cautious. After all, it is one of the top 6 Paramounts. Taking advantage of this filming gap, director ZHA asked Zhu to say a few words. Zhu nodded, understanding Zack's concerns. No one dares to despise the strength of Paramount as one of the Big 6 in Hollywood. Zack, I understand what you mean. But you have to know one thing, if we want to have our own overseas distribution channel, Wald Pictures will naturally oppose Paramount, because they are the global distribution channel. I will never watch the strong rise of Wald Pictures, Zhu Ke said solemnly. Everything is a struggle for interests, and even a struggle for life and death. The 6 major Hollywood companies are the kings in the current global film landscape, and those with vested interests. You reading www.uucan't.com, they will never let new challengers appear. A new challenger appears, what should I do? Suppress frantically. If I don't kill you, I feel uneasy. The DreamWorks, founded by Spielberg and other Big 3, is such a powerful existence. At one time, the Big 6 can't breathe. For several years, DreamWorks' annual profit is even higher than that of the Big 6. How can the Big 6, which has always been aloof, stand it? In a word, I must kill you. Don't worry, I have a count. Zhu smiled and patted Zack on the shoulder. I am not anyone can handle today. Even if it is one of the 6 largest Paramount, it wants to bite me, I can break its teeth. The first update of Ascent. Chapter 200, Bug Crisis Preview Screening. In the following days, Zhu Ke was very busy between the 300 crew and the final drafts of the 4 American dramas. According to Reason, at the level Zhu Ke is now, he can let go and let the people below take charge. But under the premise that Paramount is no longer a partner, Zhu Ke really can't be the shopkeeper. One carelessness, Jinshu Guan Group, the newly constructed media empire, is very likely to collapse. Raising a cat and dog for several years will be very affectionate, let alone a company built by himself. The entertainment industry built by movies and TV shows is one of Zhu Ke's hobbies today. How can he be willing to be deprived of it? Well, Zhu will never compromise. Fight. Only fighting can win survival. On this day, Zhu Ke was absent from the live production of the 300 crew. Instead, he was invited to attend the preview of the Bug Crisis animated film held by Pixar Animation. Hi, Old Bill. Hi, Kevin. At the door of the Bug Crisis preview, Zhu Ke, who just got off the bus, saw two generals from his company, president of Wald Pictures, Bill Mitnick, vice president, Kevin Fitch. The three greeted each other and walked into the venue together. Of course, in the process of entering the venue, Zhu also saw John Lasseter, one of the Pixar 5 Tigers. However, due to the large number of invited guests today, Zhu Ke did not chat with him much. Old Bill, Kevin, have you encountered any difficulties with Wald Pictures recently? Zhu asked after sitting down. Not yet, Kevin Fitch responded. Old Bill was much more cunning and smiled at Zhu. Boss, don't worry. Well, Kevin and I also know your concerns. After all, that's Paramount, one of the top 6 in Hollywood. Plus the Viacom Group, the parent company with a market value of tens of billions of dollars behind it, must be treated with care. Zhu gave him an angry glance. You know it, you're a little bit ridiculous. Zhu's two generals, Kevin Fitch is a young man after all. Although there is no lack of aggressiveness, he still respects Zhu Ke. Bill Mitnick is completely different. He is not young this year, and he will retire after another 2 or 3 years. At the same time, he is also a very clear person. He is the president of Wald Pictures, not for gaining anything, but for the rest of his life. Therefore, in his daily communication with Zhu Ke, there is almost no distinction between superiors and superiors. Zhu doesn't care either. The experienced old guy can definitely play the role of a needle in the sea at some point. Young man, oh no, boss, you have to know, the big 6 in Hollywood are never monolithic. They have cooperation, but more of competition. We just don't cooperate with Paramount, and it's not an endless feud such as smashing people's jobs and robbing people's wives. They will not act on us rashly. Of course, it's the boss. You don't need money. The 5 giants of Warner, Fox, Columbia, Disney, and Universal, maybe they will win over us, which will give us enough time for development. Also, it is not impossible for us to take the initiative. Old Bill draws aside and analyzes step by step. Zhu Ke and Kevin Fitch, 2 young people, really feel relieved by his old words of being a country and old house where a treasure. The ancients do not deceive me, Old Bill. What do you mean by taking the initiative? Zhu asked. Kevin Fitch also waited curiously for Old Bill's text. Online waiting, DreamWorks. Old Bill confided these 3 words, which surprised Zhu and Kevin. Both of them are smart people, and they understand instantly, and they can't help but smile. Zhu nodded and said, yes, DreamWorks is the big 6 enemies. If they are in front of them, we will be less stressed. Kevin Fitch echoed, we can also reach a series of cooperation with DreamWorks, so that they will fight the big 6 with a stronger degree and longer time, so that we can develop slowly. Zhu, Old Bill, Kevin, the 3 of them smiled at each other silently. Old yin ratio, little fox, cunning guy, as the saying goes, a dead fellow does not die a poor way. For the survival of the Golden Dawn Group, we can only use the giant DreamWorks. Of course, DreamWorks is not so easy, and no one is a philanthropist. The grasp of the scale requires Zhu Ke and the senior executives of the whole company to carefully consider. The movie Bug Crisis is a 3-year-old work by Pixar Animation Studios after the release of Toy Story in 1995. A Toy Story, with a production cost of $30 million, created a box office of $192 million in North America and $360 million in the world. It was the box office champion of Hollywood movies in 1995, and, in one fell swoop, Pixar Animation became the world's most watched animation company. Once Pixar Animation went public, its market value has risen to $1 billion. As of now, the total revenue of Toy Story in the past 3 years, the offline DVD market and the videotape market, and the broadcasting of copyrights on TV platforms, has reached $1.03 billion in peripheral markets such as books, dolls, and clothing. Even if you want to eliminate the costs of all classes and distributors, and eliminate the exploitation of Disney, Pixar Animation, as a production company, still achieves shocking and exciting high returns. Bug Crisis, as Pixar Animation's second feature film 3D computer animation, naturally attracts attention. Spielberg of DreamWorks is here, Jeffrey Katzenberg, one of the big 3 in DreamWorks and the head of DreamWorks Animation, is also here. 20th Century Fox, Time Warner, Sony, Columbia and other giant film companies, basically the CEO and boss of the company, came in person. Other companies also sent representatives to attend the preview of Bug Crisis. There is no doubt that the specifications of the preview of Bug Crisis are so high that even the Oscars can't be compared, because the people attending are the giants of major companies. Oscar can't bring so many big brothers together during this period. Zhu also chatted with Murdoch, Redstone and others. Mr. Wald, you summoned Bill Mitnick, an abandoned minister, into Wald Pictures under your name www.wooksiaspit.com, which can make Fox Pictures a little passive, Murdoch said lightly. Hearing this, Zhu Ke shook his head violently. Mr. Murdoch, the old Bill is a dead old guy who came to me for retirement. If there is something wrong with me, as a senior, you must remind me. Zhuk made a respectful look. Murdoch. Zhuk fooled the ghost and made Murdoch hit the cotton with a punch. What he is doing wrong, will you make corrections? Exclamation mark. There are 200 chapters in. It has been 3 months since the beginning of the book, and there is a lot of hard work in it. The minister also thanked many book friends for their unyielding support and said thank you in the end. Of course, I shamelessly asked for votes. Otherwise, isn't the previous complaint nonsense? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.